Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. How's everybody doing? Today, we are live to talk about something very, very interesting, and that would be the hostage deal, the pending hostage deal between between Israel and Hamas. I know people are pointing out that was very, very strange what just happened. It's because I clicked on this other video to line it up and play after our intro, but then it just played a second of it and then switched back. And even I was surprised.
Are you sick in the mind? Are you that mentally enslaved and intellectually subservient and intellectually molested and ideologically molested?
Yes. David,
hey,
what?
Hey, you actually posted a regular video today.
Yeah, I did. I did.
It's titled Elon Musk Threatens Mohammed Hijab, The Shocking Truth. It's got you. He threatened him. It's funny. It's funny you're doing a parody of their drama channels, which they all are now.
It does look kind of it looks good though, doesn't it?
It looks exactly like what they put in their stupid videos.
Yes, it looks fantastically just like their videos. It has a very good title and a very good thumbnail. It's exactly what everyone wants to see. So right here.
Classic.
Right here. With my powerful shock face on it. He threatened him. Elon Musk threatens Mohammed Hijab, the shocking truth.
That's funny. You got Heath with the arrows. Oh boy, that was funny. Oh my goodness, have you ever seen someone who's like as dying for attention right now? With look, Elon, acknowledge me. Elon, acknowledge me. I'll keep saying things until you're forced to deny it, but in denying it, you will at least be forced to acknowledge me. Acknowledge me. Acknowledge my existence, Elon.
The funny thing is, I was just preparing to go live, and then I had noticed that somebody was talking about Mohammed Hijab and Elon Musk. I was like, what's happening? So I quickly checked out his channel and saw that he posted a video in which he claims that somebody close to somebody close to Elon Musk is threatening him.
But who?
But and he said, I will not disclose who at this moment. Henceforth, we shall refer to this individual as the informant. This informant will not be revealed at this moment. I will keep his identity a secret and protect it unless it is in the greater interest of the Muslim community to reveal the informant's identity. Like, shut up, man. You obviously are just making things up.
This is Sheikh Uthman level stuff. You know what I mean? Oh, look at the kuffar. They stabbed me, but they will never stop the dawah. They will never stop the dawah. This is how he's starting off 2025. This is how you're starting off the year. Oh, wow.
Do you want a taste of it?
Yeah. Play.
What's very funny is the thumbnail is not clickbait. It's because everybody's used to them posting
clickbait?
Dumb things and making it clickbait, so the title has to be not clickbait. And I know I say things like this all the time, but this time it's not clickbait, so please click on this.
It's pretty funny when you have to actually say, guys, this is not clickbait. That is funny.
Not clickbait, guys. Not clickbait. Let's see.
What quite is doing?
Well, here I am hiding in a bunker because I know that Elon is trying to destroy me.
Wallahi wa barakatuh. How are you guys doing?
We're good.
You would have known that last week I made a video about Elon Musk. We went quite personal about his family life and
Elon's panicking over it.
He's about
crapping his pants.
So-called Muslim grooming gangs, Asian grooming gangs, etc. Repudiating them quite heavily from a sociological perspective. Ever since
Shut up, man. You're just talking trash about the guy's family. That's
Were you groomed too,
Elon, were you groomed, huh? Did you witness grooming from your dad? And what about your son? What about your grandson? What about that?
This is his video in effect, and he thinks everyone's just traumatized over this. Elon's just, Elon's sitting on his pile of gold, swimming around in it like Scrooge McDuck, but he's like, oh, I have to do something about Muhammad hijab. Let me send some random person who works for me. Can you go threaten Muhammad hijab?
Elongate. Michelle, always good to see you here. Hey guys, I was just about to go to sleep. All this live is on. Okay, up for the next 2 hours.
Used that before?
Good, Michelle. Good. Stay awake. Don't fall asleep. What?
Wait.
What?
Have people used Elongate for Elon scandals? Is that a thing?
It was Elon Musk himself who said
Elongate.
if there's ever a scandal about me, call it Elongate. Yeah, that's what he said.
Since I have been ravaging this man on Twitter through engagements on his own platform. Recently, I have received a threat through someone who knows Elon Musk very well, who is in contact with Elon Musk, documented public contact with Elon Musk. And that threat was
documented. Did you hear this? Documented public contact with Elon Musk. This person sent Elon Musk a tweet. Documented said, hello, public correspondence. And this person told me to shut up. He said, shut up. This is the proof that Elon is coming after me. He's sending his assassination squads. The entire American military is coming for me.
But this isn't clickbait, right? Oh my goodness.
Infidel Noodle said, Infidel Noodle, what's up, Infidel Noodle? Why does he always insist on talking like a pompous wanker? It's a very, very good question.
Because he knows his audience, Infidel Noodle. He knows his audience is very impressive. You just talk like this. If you just shout down to people and speak in a condescending manner, you're all pathetic, you're all weak, you're all jokes to me. Then the entire Ummah gathers around you and says, sorry,
I need
the greatest person who's ever
I need to learn the Australian accent. I need to learn how to say this in an Australian accent. Why does he always insist on talking like a pompous wanker? Anyway.
You heard it right. I was blackmailed.
British, man. Why'd you say Australian?
I do not stop attacking Elon Musk. That
what? Nothing.
I will be framed for a crime I did not commit.
Did you hear this? Ladies and gentlemen, I've been informed by a person who once tweeted Elon Musk that if I do not stop my tweets embarrassing myself and the entire Ummah with our stupidity, I will be framed for a crime I did not commit.
Look what he's doing. He's pulling an Andrew Tate. He probably knows that there's some crime that's about to... matter of fact, I'll say it here, folks. If there's some crime that hijab is being investigated for and it's going to come out like 6 months from now, hey, hijab is coming out for being part of the grooming gangs or something along those lines, or for threatening people or for being a terrorist behind the scenes or whatever, then it's going to be,
oh, you see, I told you the Matrix was coming for me. The Elon's Matrix was coming for me. They said I would be framed, and here I am being framed.
He did learn something from Tate after all.
This is exactly what I said in my video response, which is that saying something like this, somebody blackmailed me and they said if I don't stop attacking Elon Musk, then they will frame me for a crime that I did not commit, sounds exactly like something somebody would say who just did something terrible and is looking for a way out.
Oh, you said the same thing? That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, I guess great minds think alike.
I think so too. Powerful. So, it's possible, considering that Mohammed Hijab is a famous defender of child marriage and
That's true.
Sex with minors and all that, which would refer to those who are underage, not to people who work in mines. It's not inconceivable that he went ahead and engaged in sexual activities with minors, or that he engaged in child marriage or something like that, which is why he's now putting forth already in such a such a plot and saying, I will be framed for something.
Now, I'll be honest with you. If this is Elon Musk, then this is the most fragile, weak thing that he could potentially do. Come to a person, Mr.
No,
Freedom of
you're
Speech,
the most
who's attacking-
fragile, weak thing that we can imagine.
Well, you know,
That known.
isn't this pathetic? He acts like he's not saying it's Elon Musk,
Yeah,
but
well,
it
that's
is
pathetic.
probably Elon Musk. But then he makes a whole video about how Elon Musk is the one attacking him. This is probably this probably goes into a legally dangerous territory here, where he's trying to insinuate that Elon Musk is attacking him. I don't know.
him on his platform and come to that person and try and threaten him through blackmail if it is Elon Musk. But this
If it
threat
is.
goes a bit further than that. He even said, you will be gone. You will be gone? So what is that? Death threat now. If this is Elon Musk, and I have to caveat that because obviously it's through an intermediary, a documented intermediary who does know who that is, who I will not be revealing right now. You might be asking, why are you not revealing it right now? I'm going to protect the identity of this conduit, of this intermediary. I'm going to protect the identity of hitherto what I shall refer to as the informant.
Well, why did he say hitherto? That doesn't even make sense.
Hitherto, and moreover, heretofore. And furthermore.
Henceforth was accurate, but why did he say hitherto at that moment? Like he's just throwing in the random words.
And I shall investigate whence this cometh from.
Of hitherto
Your
what I
hero-
shall refer
this
to
is your
as
hero,
the
Muslims.
informant.
Hitherto I shall refer to this man. Bro, you need to learn the language. You need to learn where to use which word. Henceforth I will refer to you as the I don't know what. The informant, Mr. Informant, Mr. Informant, to whom I have hitherto referred to as Muhammad Hijab.
Henceforth, I will refer to this individual as the informant. But I've got all the receipts. Oh, yes.
Did he say I have
And those
golden
receipts
receipts?
have been sent to multiple sources with the strict instructions not to open them now so as to breach the confidentiality of this individual, but that if I get arrested in any country, that this will be revealed.
This is what I always do. When somebody threatens me, I always make sure that I protect the identity of the person threatening me.
I do. Yeah. Yeah, guys, just so everyone knows, there are tons of people who are connected to the King of England through various messages that they have sent at various times, and these people are threatening to brutally murder me. And they've said that if I don't stop attacking Islam, they will say that I'm a convicted felon who committed crimes many years ago. But I've told you all ahead of time. I told you all right now. So you know when it happens. You know when they frame me for all these things that I did a long time ago. You know it's all part of their plot. They're the best of plotters.
That's what they do. That's what they do.
What a can you imagine like this being your main the main representative of your religion in the world?
Yes.
Oh boy.
And
every Dawa channel is a drama channel now about, oh, look at this. Oh my goodness. What is this person doing behind the scenes? What is that person doing? Oh my goodness. Does this mean this? Does this mean that? Oh no, I'm in danger. Let me tell you about the secret thing that's happening and the secret news that I will not reveal until another video.
Well, David Wood, I shall hereby reveal that although I will not name this person, I have talked critically about Donald Trump in the past, and he knows
That's
it.
true,
He's watching my videos. We know it because he uses the same vernacular as I do.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, I've heard you say frankly
can-
numerous times. You
I
say
can
frankly.
reveal-
You say
I can
frankly. He says
reveal-
frankly.
I can reveal that thenceforth cometh communication from certain individuals to whom I shall henceforth refer to as individuals A and B.
Mhm.
But I will not say anything about them because I protect them, because I respect
You got to
them.
protect them. You got to protect the people who threaten you, man. If they threaten you with death or anything else, always got to protect you. Protect them.
Powerful. Anyway.
And or if we decide it's in the strategic interest of the Muslim community at large, I have the discretion to reveal this information at any point in time.
He's got the files. He's got them.
You are not a legal document, Mohammed Hijab. You don't need to talk like that.
He can at any given time, he can bring Elon Musk's entire empire crashing to the ground. This is the strength of the Ummah.
No, I shall correct D, Elon Musk and or other people involved.
Position of control and decision-making at this point in time. And that's why these kinds of bogus threats, whether the conduit or the intermediary or the informant tried to do it for their own purposes, and or if they did actually do it through instruction from Musk, are nonsense. And you
Conduit is nonsensical.
reliance in the trust of God. And that's the
This is the funniest part here to me.
difference between me and you, Elon Musk. I'm going to put it very clearly. What makes us superior to what you have, which is money which you think will grant you immortality, as the Quran mentions, يَحْسَبُ أَنَّ مَا لَهُ أَخْلَدَهُ, that he thinks that money has given him immortality, is that what I have, unlike what you have, cannot be stripped away from me. Possessions, money, health can be stripped away. But faith and Iman cannot be stripped away. Even if you amass all of the armies of the world, the American army, NATO, England, this, that, try and threaten Mohammed Hijab, yes, you could take his life. Yes, you could put it in prison and take his freedom, but you can never take his faith. Why can't you never take his faith? Because it's impossible from a logical perspective.
The lackluster.
Dude, it's way. But what's crazy is I'm so used to hearing all their videos like that it does make it way better.
You can put it in prison and take his freedom, but you can never take his faith.
Allahu Akbar. Dude. I mean, look, there are other people who do this much better. Look at this.
Stickt. Und die Wut, diese Leute, viele Leute abfallen. Das im Wald, aber der nicht voll können keine Blockhütte im Wald bauen, wo wir Dame draufschreiben und dann warten, bis irgendeiner sich verläuft.
See, this is how it goes, man.
Way stronger, way stronger.
Who do you think you are?
Why can't you never take his faith? Because it's impossible from a logical perspective to pry into my heart and to take that faith away from me. So this is the problem and the challenge that you will find of threatening a person of faith, especially the Islamic faith, who believes in martyrdom, who believes in seclusion with God, who believes that so long as they have faith in God, that they will be okay. This is the problem with the approach, as we're seeing in Gaza, of thinking that you can kill children.
He had to make this about Gaza.
This is gonna be a fun year, man.
He has to compare himself to Gaza.
This is how he's starting the year. He's starting the year like this. This is 2025. It is hilarious because again, I ended 2024 by asking everyone if they've ever seen a worse year for Dawah than 2024. No one had. And then what are their predictions for 2025? It's going to be the same, going to get better, it's going to get worse. Everyone said it's just going to get worse. And this is how we're starting the year. I mean, no, not this. This is like the third thing. So we had the terrorist attack, which got everyone interested in that. Then we had the grooming gang scandal. And then we have Mohammed Hijab now.
Everyone's coming to get me, but I have the files. Unless you send me $1 million. And oh, by the way, if I happen to get arrested for molesting children, it's because someone close to Elon Musk has said that he will set me up and frame me for a crime I did not commit. That's why I'm being arrested for banging all these little boys and girls.
I thought you were going to say, if I get molested.
I was about to.
And if there's proof that I'm getting molested, it is not my choice. I've been forced into this. This is not my decision.
But hey, I played music, and this is not appropriate with Islam. You have to do something different.
For me. So this is the problem and the challenge that you will find of threatening a person of faith, especially the Islamic faith, who believes in martyrdom, who believes in seclusion with God, who believes that so long as they have faith in God, that they will be okay. This is the problem with the approach, as we're seeing in Gaza, of thinking that you can kill children and women and this and that. You can do all that, and that would mean that you've won.
See, this aren't more authentic. Anyway,
it does. It's better. Everyone knows that if you make all the noises by yourself and not using a musical instrument, then it's okay.
Yeah, because if you use music, the air through your own mouth or your throat instead of using instruments, instead of using skin, if you use wood, it becomes haram. Because Allah goes, wait a minute, how are you making that sound? With wood? No, haram. You will go to hell. But if you make it with your mouth or your throat, not comparable to what Muhammad Hijab does to goats with his throat, then that is permissible and not haram.
It is a quote-unquote liberal democracy. If this is Elon Musk, which many would infer he has the motive, many would infer
he has motive, he has means because he's rich, he's got motive because I'm so important that he sits around thinking about me all day, thinking, how can I deal with Muhammad Hijab? And opportunity means motive and opportunity. Those are the three elements. This is a proof that Elon Musk is coming for me. Everyone rally around me, I'm your hero. Gosh, and they called Sheikh Uthman, Sheikh Ibn Fibbin, and Sheikh Ibn Smollett for stuff like this.
But anyway, I made a video about this in response, which is a powerful video, as you can see from the thumbnail and the title. Elon Musk threatens Muhammad Hijab, the shocking truth.
And you could tell it's shocking because it says it, and because AP's face is clearly shocked in the video, and you know what's going on with the powerful arrows.
Yeah, we can see from the arrows that it is him threatening him. So,
yeah, you know that.
So go check it out. Anyway, so this is all he says.
You said go check.
Go check it out.
Yeah, one of the biggest scandals. And so
this is their hero, man. This is their hero. This is the hero of the Ummah, the face of Dawah. Oh man, this guy. Get Muslims of the world, make this guy your caliph, please. If you want a caliphate, make this guy your caliph. There are plenty of people in the world who are like 30th generation of first cousin marriage descendants, and they love this guy. They absolutely love this guy.
That's what they do. Hey, my description of the video is even more amazing. Look at it.
In a shocking development, the shocked Muslim Muhammad Hijab shockingly reveals Elon Musk shockingly threatened him. The shocking truth shockingly exposed. I almost want to just leave this live stream right now so I could go watch it to be shocked.
You see, this is powerful proof.
It's like watching AP's video and finding out this story is like sticking a fork in a light socket.
You see. Anyway, but this is not what we're here for. What we are here for is actually problematic situations going on in a land far away, known as Israel. David, what do you know about Israel?
So it's pretty cool place.
Pretty cool place, right?
Pretty fun place to visit.
It would be funny to go there.
Pretty based.
Pretty.
Temple Mount's super cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Temple Mount is, as far as I heard, the best place there. So, here's the thing. So there are lots of news going around, and lots of news going around because Donald Trump said quite a while ago that before he comes into office, before he is the president, before he is inaugurated, he has to, he said Hamas has to reveal or release all the hostages. If they don't, then all hell will break loose. That's what Donald Trump said. He also said, so that's what he said hitherto. Then he said, henceforth, if Hamas does not release all the hostages, then they will be in big, big trouble, and it will be the worst decision they ever made, and so on. These are things that Donald Trump said. As the day is approaching, and Donald Trump is going to be sworn into office, which is happening in only a few days. Is it Monday? Huh. And apparently he was in talks with Netanyahu and also through other means with the terrorists, and allegedly pressured the terrorists into agreeing to a hostage deal, which would be a temporary ceasefire deal over a period of time where the remaining hostages currently under Hamas control and other terrorist organizations that work together with Hamas, those hostages would be released. So the Israeli hostages taken by Hamas and other terrorist organizations would be released. The details of it were meant to be that the first phase of this deal is going to be 6 weeks, 42 days. During these 42 days, Hamas and allied terrorist organizations will release 33 hostages, including all women and children and men over the age of 50. And in return for this, Israel would release imprisoned Palestinian criminals or suspects. And the number of that would be 30 Palestinians for one hostage. So that's what,
depending, I think it was 30 for a male and 50 for a female,
yeah,
or something like this.
Something like that, on average, something like that, 30 or 40. Now, lots of people on the Israeli side have said, why are we doing this again? Why are we doing this again? Why are we releasing people that were held for a reason to them without even having a guarantee that we will get all these people back? On the other hand, many other people are happy about this and kind of slowly approach it with some optimism, because this has been going on for over a year, 15 months or so, and lots of the hostages are kept there. Many of them are already dead. Many of them are alive. People want to see their loved ones who probably lived in very terrible circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
And many bodies or many of the hostages have been killed, and their bodies are being held, and people want to get the bodies of their loved ones back. There's also the other aspect, which is that since certain hostages were released or freed by Israel from Gaza, lots of the hostages have kept things secret from the public so far. In agreement with the Israeli government and Israeli intelligence, they have been quite secretive about how things are in Gaza and how things were during their captivity. And they mostly did so because they want to protect the other remaining hostages inside Gaza from any harm. So finalizing the situation and getting everyone out of there would open up a lot of new things. However, Hamas also wants Israel to leave Gaza immediately. And here is the thing. Now, J.D. Vance and others said, Hamas got so scared that Donald Trump pressured them into agreeing to a deal. I don't really see how that is really true, because if Hamas was so terrified and so scared, Hamas wouldn't come to the table with their conditions and their demands accepted by Israel and America, that Israel should slowly retreat from the Gaza Strip. It would rather be some kind of near complete surrender from the side of Hamas. But as it seems right now, in this 3-phase ceasefire and hostage deal, all the hostages will be freed. Israel will send a lot of prisoners out there into their hands, and Israel will, over this period, slowly retreat from most of the Gaza Strip. Now, Israel has plans of still taking control of certain parts of the Gaza Strip, like having control over a much larger and wider part of the border between Gaza and Israel. On the other hand, they also want to remain in control over the border between Gaza and Egypt. They don't want Hamas or any other authorities to approach that place anymore. Israel wants to secure that border fully and entirely, not only because during this war Israel found lots of tunnels that the Gazan side had dug into Egypt, through which they possibly transferred lots of things which they used for terrorism. So,
say what you want about these guys. These guys are world champion tunnel builders, man.
yes,
That is an interesting military capability. Being able to have tunnels everywhere under everything. Pretty.
Well, I mean, they are rats, so it's kind of technically, if you're a rodent and you live under those circumstances, you have to adjust to the environment. Lots of rodents in nature have the ability and the habit of digging, little tunnels, going under the earth, things like that, to protect themselves from others, to survive. Considering that these people are rodents, they also, of course, have to adjust to the circumstances and have to learn to make tunnels and to make a big tunnel system. They are,
Hey, you're an American now, man. You're an American now. You should learn some history in the Civil War. The Civil War you had what's called the Battle of the Crater. That's the North and the South, and they're trying to take Petersburg. They're trying to take Petersburg, and there's just a standoff that's lasting forever. They're just in trenches. Meanwhile, the Union discovers that they've got a group of miners. I don't mean like in the grooming gang sense. I mean actual miners who mine things underground. And so the general goes to them and is like, "Hey, could you actually like dig a tunnel up under these guys?" And they're like, "Of course we can." So they dig a tunnel up right underneath the rebel line and so on, and then they pack that thing with explosives, right? They load up tons of explosives right under them, and then they detonate the thing. And the plan is, as soon as they blow up a hole in their line, then the northern troops are all lined up to pour through that hole that they just shot through there. So anyway, they ended up loading it up with way too much explosive, so it blew an entire crater, right? But then there's smoke everywhere. And the northern guys just keep sending wave after wave into this, and they're all just falling into a hole. And then all the southern guys are just standing outside there shooting down into the hole, massacring all these dudes. Anyway, it was a big disaster. It was the point is, it's a good idea being able to dig underneath, and that's some creepy stuff. If people can like just rats anywhere, you don't know what's underneath your feet, man. It's creepy.
This is true. Very, very, very true. Very true. But here you can see that these people are apparently doing quite well. Here you have Nada Muhammad.
That's on the surface, AP. What about the tunnels?
From Gaza, posting pictures. I mean, this looks quite delicious, man.
Hey, AP, hang on. Yeah, that's what I've noticed. All the people cheering in the streets, they look pretty healthy and well fed. I thought they were all starving. Isn't that weird? And here, like, oh look, haha, this is what we sit. This is what we sit and eat every day. What the heck? What?
That's what they do.
That is significantly better than any meal I've had in my life. That is the most delicious looking meal I've ever seen. I've never seen anything that great.
And there is an excessive amount of bread, of flat bread. There are lots of eggs there. The cucumbers, quite some stuff here. So it looks nice. I mean, it looks like what something you get in a nice restaurant under those circumstances. So apparently these people are enjoying their life. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
No, they're all starving. Isn't that weird? Like we hear it every day. They're starving. They're all starving. They're all dropping dead from starvation. And then ceasefire, and they're all out in the streets with their fat bellies, and then posting pictures of how they throw down.
That's what they do. That is what they do.
It's almost like everyone was lying.
The lying kings. This is the thing. We have said it forever now, which is that the whole narrative that these guys are desperate, that there are genocide circumstances, and they can't get out of there, and they're dying, and they're being killed, and eradicated, and ethnic cleansing, and so on. Much of this was just propaganda for the sole purpose of advancing their goals and getting help from the rest of the world. There were so many scams. I mean, so many scams of people saying, "Oh, I am from Gaza and we need money right now. Please send us so much money," and this, and that. Meanwhile, you see videos daily there where they're still running restaurants and having quite good meals. You have statistics of the humanitarian aid and the food that is being distributed, which is quite enough for everyone. We have since the beginning of the war, since October 2023, we have heard Gaza is on the brink of a famine, starvation. Children are starving. Children are freezing. For some interesting reason, Gaza happens to be the only place in the Middle East where you just freeze under normal circumstances during normal weather at night. I mean, you literally somewhere in Tel Aviv, you could on the same night go outside and sleep outside without any issues. But in Gaza, if you sleep in Gaza at the very same time, in that very same night, you die freezing. You literally become an icicle and you die. You have to be defrosted in order to be buried and analyzed and all that. It's just, Gaza is a ridiculous place. Somehow you starve when you go to Gaza, and you also freeze when you go to Gaza. Of course, you had these things pointed out by some people, how this guy here posts image of, "I survived the Israeli genocide." You survived the freaking genocide?
Mm-hmm.
You survived the genocide? You know why this guy survived? I can tell everyone why this guy survived. This guy survived the so-called genocide because this guy followed instructions given by Israel on where to go and how to avoid being caught in the middle of bombings.
He followed the rules. So when the leaflets fall and say, "Get out of here, there's a terrorist," go to this area so you won't be attacked. He went over to that area. He followed the instructions carefully. And since he followed the instructions carefully, he survived.
Yes. Maybe Israel shouldn't have given him the instructions, and he shouldn't have been able to follow the instructions. I mean, I guess he would have liked that better if he calls that genocide. This guy survived because it is Israel that gave these people clear directions every single time, with some exceptions. With some exceptions, there were occasions where Israel did take military actions where they had to be taken, and this is called proportionality. In war, there are situations where sometimes you have to take possible civilian casualties into consideration in order to undertake a critical military operation, and you have to weigh the losses versus the benefit of the operation. Happens. But in general, Israel has consistently laid out plans on maps drawn out. So Israel actually gave these people the resources and paid money and employed a bunch of people and wasted their time by creating maps and telling these guys, "Look, we are going to operate in this area. You can take this path, this route to this place where you will be safe from bombs and fighting. So go there now before we start operating." This is how people received their instructions from the IDF, from Israel. This guy followed those instructions, which is why he is alive.
Hold up.
There are others who died in certain bombings and operations precisely because they didn't follow the instructions.
Hold up. When you say creating maps,
yes,
you mean in the sense of like actual like maps of locations, not in the Dawa sense of creating minor attracted persons, right?
Both.
Oh, okay. Just want to clarify.
We're talking about Gaza here. So in some cases, in many cases, we have lots of evidence for that, where Israel calls and says, you have to leave this place. It will be bombed. And the people say, no, we're not leaving. We're going to stay here. We're going to stay here. We don't care. We'll die. Israel insists they don't leave. Eventually they die. Sorry, this is war. This is war. Israel didn't ask for this war. This is what you get. And yes, lots of people died, and lots of people shouldn't die, but lots of people did die because one side started a war which they could not handle. But here, you see a difference here. This is what genocide looks like, not like this. Not one. In fact, let's put something here. Let's make something very clear here. They call this genocide while posting so many pictures, while having footages of celebrations. Let's make one thing very quick here, very clear. According to the information that the propagandists spread, where according to the Gaza Health Ministry or Hamas Health Ministry, around between 40,000 and 50,000 people died. Even according to their estimates or their numbers, if you go by them, half of those seem to be Hamas operatives. Maybe less than half, maybe more than half. We don't know. So take this into consideration. Israel operated in the Gaza Strip for 15 months and was for this entire time accused of genociding and ethnically cleansing the so-called Palestinians and carpet bombing it on, wanting to get rid of them. As a result of the 15 months of fighting, 99% of the Gazan population is still alive. The majority of the Gazan population is unharmed. The majority of the Gazan population even has access to their former homes. Most buildings were not destroyed inside Gaza. However, half or more than half of Hamas operatives have been liquidated, eradicated. Think about this. Israel allegedly wanted to genocide and eradicate the Gazans, Palestinians, but the vast majority of the Gazan population is unharmed, while Hamas is crippled, and more than half of their operatives, their terrorists, are liquidated. So, does this sound like?
Wait, hang on.
Does this sound like Israel was trying to genocide and eradicate the Gazan Palestinians? Is this really what that sounded like? No.
When you say liquidated, we've heard about how they have weapons that like completely vaporize people and destroy all evidence that they ever existed, including paperwork and so on. That Israel actually has weapons like this. Are you also saying that they have a weapon that turns Hamas terrorists into liquid?
Yes. And vaporize them.
The Jews are very powerful.
That's what they do. Wait, is the audio choppy now? Is it bad now? Right now? Wah, 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 wah. What's happened?
You sound fine right now.
Our mics are skipping.
It has. You have been choppy occasionally, but you're not right now. So.
Hello? It's fixed. Steph said fixed. I trust Steph as over everybody else here. Except Apostate of Allah. I trust both of you equally. And I also trust all the others that I recognize here. Anyway, so apparently it's fixed now. All right, so is it still choppy? I love you too, Steph. Is it still choppy? Is it all right? Everything is all right? Okay, wonderful. Now here is the issue. The latest news on the ceasefire and hostage deal, which seemed quite problematic, is that apparently the hostage deal has been delayed. There is a delay. And now you have the Netanyahu allegedly saying that Netanyahu allegedly says that Hamas caused problems, and we have also heard reports from other members of the Israeli government. Their account is that apparently, Hamas wants to be the decision maker in deciding which prisoners will be freed from Israel. That's what they want to decide. So they say they want to be in charge of which prisoners are released. What is this, man? Is it better now? I have this. I have
Yo,
this
yo, you listening? Yo, you hear me?
Yes, yes.
I just got off and then went and actually listened to it. It sounds totally fine for me, and it sounds totally fine to other people. Some people say it's skipping. That is probably a regional issue. You can usually fix that just by restarting, just like refreshing.
You said you got off. Did you get help from NBT?
What's wrong with you? This is it's not exactly a Christian channel, but so I went and listened to it live, and it was totally fine. So
Yes.
anyone for whom it's skipping, that is sort of a local regional issue, which we've seen happen before. And most people say that refreshing the page fixes the issue.
Powerful. All right. So some people
get
are
off and then get back on.
Some people are saying that refreshing it worked for them. So
It's refreshing.
I don't know. It's quite refreshing. It is quite refreshing.
Jews! You see, the Jews have done this.
I have it on good authority that Muhammad Hijab fans, under his possible instruction, are working at YouTube to sabotage this live stream, and that we are all in danger.
And we can also say with confidence that that we earlier received actually communication from somebody who seems to have interacted with Muhammad Hijab. So somebody who interacted with Muhammad Hijab earlier came here in the chat and said, I'm coming for you. So therefore, it was probably Muhammad Hijab's fault. It was probably an organized attack by Muhammad Hijab, an orchestrated attack about Muhammad Hijab. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Yeah. Hey, did you see this clip here?
How do you?
This is just beautiful, man.
Did we come up against the white man mantra of it's complicated? I think we did, folks. Here we are again.
Well, hang on, what colour are you?
Responding
Hang on, what colour are you?
I'm sadly of your camp, Piers.
You're white. So why are you using skin?
November
Why are you using skin?
2024,
Well, you're sad you're white.
Sadly in your camp is what I said.
What does that mean?
What
do you mean?
affiliated with your life.
You're going to toss around skin colour, Giles. What do you mean?
Yes. Anyway, your
what do you
question
mean?
was.
What do you mean?
I have no idea who this woman is.
I would be like, I'll cut. Look, don't say another word until you answer me what you mean. I don't care. Do not abandon this. Apologize for what you said and for being so freaking stupid. I have to say though, AP, as soon as you clicked on that video, all I saw was chin.
I know.
Across my entire field of view. All I saw was chin, the strongest chin in the world right in front of my view. And then I looked, and then I had to look way over here, and there's Pierce. And I look over here, and here's other people.
This guy could kill you with his chin.
He could murder you with his chin. He is a master of an odd Israeli martial art where you murder people with your chin.
I think I'm going to have a chat with him soon, by the way. So
that'd be based.
Powerful. This is apparently Dr. Miriam François. I've never heard of her, but apparently she's a child or something. I don't know. But this is how she talks.
Are you using skin? Well, you're sad you're white.
Sadly in your camp is what I said.
What does that mean?
What camp?
What do you mean? With your life.
You're going to toss around skin colour, Giles. What do you mean?
Yes. Anyway, your question was.
What do you mean?
That in November 2024.
What do you mean by your skin colour, Giles? Are you saying that because we have white skin, we can't comment on this?
Oh, spare me. This little victim thing you do.
It's not a victim thing.
Not
You said it, you dumb idiot.
Victim thing.
Exactly. It is hilarious when you got a blonde-haired white woman. I know white people. Blah, blah, blah. Sadly, I'm in your camp. What camp? It's not camp of ideas because he disagrees with you on the kinds of things. So what's the camp that you're sadly in with him?
Please stop playing the victim. You're white. You can't be the victim. Only people of color can be victims. In fact, they're always victims by default.
Yes, unless you are white and you start making fun of being white and say it's the worst thing ever, and then you can be part of this other camp. Oh no, wait, I'm still part of the white camp. I don't know what to do.
Say these things.
And I will tell you exactly what I'm going to clarify, which is that in November 2024, Yoel Gallant, who is a wanted war criminal and Israel's ousted defense minister,
This is where you see how these people are spreading misinformation deliberately. Yoel Gallant is wanted by the ICC for alleged war crimes in order to be tried. Of course, brought to the table by really, really malicious people. He's not a criminal. He's not a criminal.
Actually told the families of hostages that Israel had actually achieved all its military objectives in Gaza. And he was very clear on something that is well known within Israel.
Should Hamas...
That is that
my question for you
hostages could
Sorry, you have to answer my question, or I'll move on to somebody else.
I'm still going to your question.
No, answer my question.
The current deal,
should Hamas have any power going forward after this or not?
Amatok. Political objectives of this deal are not, unfortunately.
Did she just say I'm a talk? So apparently, I didn't know this about her. I just looked her up. In 2003, at the age of 21, she became a Muslim after graduating from Cambridge. At the time, she was skeptical. She was a skeptical Roman Catholic. She rejects the use of the words convert and revert as exclusionary, describing herself as just Muslim. What the hell?
I reject those terms as exclusionary.
Francois chose to stop wearing a hijab in the 2010s. She said that the subsequent lack of Islamophobia due to her being a white woman in a Western dress made her feel enmeshed in white privilege. Nevertheless, she did not decide to return to the hijab. This is just such a child, man. She's 42 freaking years old. She talks like a 12-year-old.
It is. It's freaking pathetic, man.
Peace, which is the only sort of deal that we should be discussing at this
point.
Should
Hamas have any power after this?
A political... I'm not Palestinian. How is it for me to even answer that question? What I will tell you...
You seem a world authority. A world authority on everything Israel's doing. You can't even...
dude, that was brilliant. This is so weird. Dude, Pierce is so weird. Sometimes he is like spot on, brilliant, catching all this stuff. What she just said. So, guys, she's sitting here.
Here's what Israel should do, and this is what they should do, and this is what they should do, and this is what they should have done back then, and this is what they should be doing in the future, and this is what... And I will shout down. I will tell you everything Israel should do in every circumstance.
Should Hamas play a role in the political system there moving forward?
I'm not a Palestinian. How would I know? I'm not a Palestinian. Well, who am I to comment on such a thing in a different part of the world?
Seriously, this is one of the best things that I've heard Piers Morgan say, and we often call him out because he's really bad at pushing people, pushing back. But this was very good, honestly.
Should have any power after this.
Yes, sweetheart, I just do analysis.
I'm not your sweetheart. I'm not your daddy. I'm not any of these stupid little jibes you're doing.
I am. Get rid of her, man. Crackhead Barney's better than this.
The current deal that we have on the table is really not a ceasefire deal, unfortunately, because there are no guarantees that phase...
Look at the others. They're just shaking their heads.
No, they're shaking their jaw.
2 and 3 of the deal will ever be brought about. And I think that's really where the focus of this conversation should be.
You can't answer my question about Hamas having power.
Why don't we talk about serious things, Piers?
Why don't you just answer my question? I would actually say whether Hamas has power after this is a pretty damn serious question.
Do
you think they should?
I will get to that.
Do you think they should?
I will get to that.
Get to it now, because it's the question I've asked you.
I will get to it on my own.
What's your answer?
My answer is, are you ready to hear it?
Answer it.
Little drum roll for you. Dum-dum-dum-dum. Is that we should be looking at...
What an idiot, man.
What is this, man?
What an idiot.
I mean, as if she wasn't annoying enough. She just annoyed the hell out of Piers Morgan here.
And so, Piers, I'm not gonna answer you. What?
The thing is,
that would be...
lots of people are saying, why is she still on at this point? And here, actually, Piers Morgan did something that I never saw him do before, ever. Let's keep watching.
He had a peace deal that achieves actual peace in the region.
Should Hamas have any power?
At the moment, the current phased proposal is not allowed.
One more time before I leave you. Should
Coward.
You're going to leave me? Oh, that would be sad. Let's actually talk about...
Well, I wouldn't worry about it, because you'll never be back here again. But just for the purposes of the question, we're not all 5-year-olds. Why don't you just try and be an adult? Try and be an adult in the room.
42 years old.
How about you don't talk over me?
No, how about you answer my question?
You're oppressing me, Piers.
Which one's it going to be?
Just tell me to shut up.
Yes, I did. No, I gave you a choice. Answer the question.
Stop using your white privilege to oppress me.
What's it going to be?
You're not my dad, sweetheart.
Which one's it going to be?
You're not going to tell me what to do. And I'm
Ahmed, let me go to you, because you seem
the real question.
Like somebody who won't be calling me sweetheart or dad. No, I'm done with you. I'm sorry. I'm done.
Look, they muted her now.
Look at you. You're done.
They muted her now, but you can still kind of hear her because she's in the studio with
this
him.
idiot's in the studio with them.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
With you, Miriam. You're a complete. I do actually on my own show. I do on my show. You're a
escort her out of the building, please.
But I never seen this before. They actually muted her. Like,
escort her out of the building.
Wait. Look.
You're a complete. I do actually on my own show. I do on my show. You're a complete and utter half-wit.
And that's being generous, ladies and gentlemen. I would have said 1/8 or something like that. She's a 1/8. She's an 8th wit.
Yeah. And meanwhile, people post memes.
Like, what is this?
What is this, man?
What is that?
But I'm serious. This woman, I'm not making this up. She is 42 years old. Apparently, I just found this out as well. Like, I'm finding this out live here. Born 1982, 42 years old. She's talking like a freaking 12-year-old.
So I discovered that in order to avoid Western imperialism and white privilege, I would convert to Islam to shield the grooming gangs from scrutiny.
Yeah. So, Israel cabinet meeting to approve a ceasefire and hostage deal was delayed Thursday morning after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu accused the militant group of reneging on part of the agreement. They said the latest news were that they said they will vote on it within 3 days. However, here is the thing: lots of people inside Israel are not happy about this. People that are part of the government are threatening to leave the government in Israel, especially the more right conservative side. And Benjamin Netanyahu's government kind of depends on some of these people because it is a multi-party parliament, unlike the dysfunctional two-party system in the USA, for example, where they have multiple parties in order to come together and form a government. And he formed a government. His party formed a government together with some aspects that do not really want to go through with this whole thing. So the finalization and practice of this is still pending, and they are still going to vote and make a decision on it. Are you telling who said that? It's already done. Are you giving me information that I don't know, which is just newly coming in? Because the latest information here, Mugiwara, is that it is not technically done. They agreed, but apparently there are difficulties.
Yeah, I thought Israel's not even voting on it until Saturday or something.
Yeah. Israel's cabinet will meet tomorrow to vote on the ceasefire and hostage release deal. After there was a setback, Hamas said it was committed to the ceasefire agreement. Secretary Blinken said that he remains confident it will happen, it will work out. Here is the thing. There are some people who specifically said, like the incoming national security advisor, Mike Waltz, this guy here, this bro here, he specifically said that he is all for Israel and that Hamas should not have any possibility at all to have any decision-making ability or capability or place in the future of Gaza. And no matter what happens, no matter how long this lasts, he will make sure that if Israel feels the need to go back into Gaza, America will give them the support that they need and will help them take care of the situation and will help them finish the job in Gaza. So this guy seemingly is 100% on the side of Israel and says, we will make sure that they will keep Hamas at bay and that they will also have our 100% support if they need to go in and finish the job. So that is one aspect of all of this, which gives me some confidence and assurance in this whole thing. So might as well work out. Again, one of the main problems that people have with all of this is that hostage deals were made before in the past, and Hamas has always been repeatedly and consistently of the position and of the idea that they need to eventually eradicate Israel. So a hostage deal or a ceasefire deal to Israel, to Hamas, is just an opportunity to gather their strength or to rebuild in order to then attack Israel again in the future. Why do people want to allow this? In fact, here you have a Hamas leader speaking after the deal. Allah has decreed, verily I shall prevail, I am my messenger, my messenger.
كتب الله لأغلبن أنا ورسلي إن الله قوي عزيز الحمد لله ولي المؤمنين وناصر عباد.
Anyway, after all his goat prayers, who fulfilled this, he granted victory to his servants, peace and blessings and goats upon Muhammad, the masses and the goats, enduring jihad over decades as we fought for our goats. To you, our resilient and honorable people of proud Gaza, the jewel of the triumphant group, the steadfast heroes, the noble and dignified families of martyrs and their goats, the wounded, the prisoners, and the missing. You who fulfilled the covenant, bore unmatched patience while you were absent from your goats that you couldn't have sex with, endured unparalleled suffering, and faced what no one else has faced. You have upheld your trust and fulfilled your duty to your goats, standing firm in the goats of sacrifice and giving generously in moments of need. Some of you even sacrificed their goats instead of having sex with them, which we know is very, very, very big. We stand today with reverence and respect before the convoys of martyrs, children, women, elderly, scholars, fighters, doctors, journalists, civil defense workers, security personnel, police officers, tribal leaders, and families. The thing is, from everything that we have heard from Gaza, all of this could just be describing one person, who is a baby, a child, a woman, elderly, scholar, journalist, teacher, and so on. Because whenever somebody dies, it's like, well, a baby or a journalist. The battle to defend Jerusalem and Al-Aqsa during the Al-Aqsa flood campaign. We extend our salutations and so on. I forgot where exactly this was. Our steadfastness thwarted the occupation's plans. We are still here, resilient and victorious with our goats, and so on. The courage of our people and fighters has crushed the enemy's objectives. We have more goats. Today we announce a ceasefire agreement while honoring the sacrifices and support of our allies, Lebanon, Yemen, Iran, Iraq, and the goats. As he continued that, in conclusion, the liberation of Jerusalem remains our compass. Look at this. The liberation of Jerusalem and our goats remains our compass. We will rebuild, stand tall, and restore hope. Peace and mercy of Allah be upon you and your goats. This is what he's saying. So the compass will be eventually, once again, the liberation of Jerusalem. He's basically saying,
we're coming. We're going to keep attacking.
Yeah, once they are on a small vacation to finally make up with their goats and have enough sexual intercourse with their goats, because they couldn't do it comfortably so far. During this ceasefire, they want to enjoy their goats, and then they want to attack again with the very same aim that they attacked on October 7th, which would be for Allah attacking and liberating or taking over Jerusalem. Taking over Jerusalem is basically lingo, according to their fundamental standards and declarations, for destroying Israel and uniting it all and establishing their Islamic caliphate. Let's not forget their speakers, their appointed speakers like Fatih Hamad have said repeatedly that their goal eventually is to eradicate the Jews and take Jerusalem and establish it as the capital of their future caliphate, where they can abundantly use goats for sexual purposes. So this has repeatedly been their goal, and today, as a ceasefire is announced and as plans are made, as people around the world are telling Israel, okay, enough, man, enough, it's time to stop fighting these guys. These guys come out and once again announce, we will be steadfast on our one goal, which is to take Jerusalem and have sex with goats. So this is Hamas. For a whole year or more, people cry, genocide, 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 genocide. And these guys come out, take a break from their goats, and immediately say, see? That's what they do. He vowed to repeat it in his speech on the ceasefire from Qatar. So that's what he wants to do. That's what Hamas wants to do. Hamas wants to get back and wants to rebuild, and then wants to start fighting again and again and again. And this should not be a surprise to anybody. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, because this has always been the plan. It has always been the objective. Not only here.
المسلمون اليهود تقوم الساعة حتى يقاتل المسلمون اليهود فيقتلهم المسلمون فيجري اليهودي فيختبئ وراء الشجر والحجر حتى يقول الشجر والحجر
يا مسلم يا عبد الله هذا يهودي ورائي فتعال فاقتل
إلا الغرقد فإنه من شجر اليهود.
اليهود الآن يزرعون هذا الشجر الآن بكثرة في فلسطين لأنهم يوقنون بذلك.
شجر
الغرقد.
ولو دخل أي واحد منكم ونظر إلى هذه المغتصبات إن تيسر له ذلك عبر جوجل إيرث أو غير ذلك من البرامج لاستطاع أن يرى هذه الشجرة ظاهرة تحيط بكل مكان عندهم.
سنقاتلهم وسنهزمهم وسنستأصل شأفتهم فلا يعود على ظهر الأرض يهودي واحد.
So this is what they do. That's what they do. That's what they want. They want to attack the Jews and kill the Jews and do it again and again and again and again and again until they say the promise of Allah has been fulfilled, so that they can finally kill the Jews, because that's what they do.
This is why it's a completely secular movement.
It is very, very secular. Yeah, totally, man. Totally powerful movement. Powerful movement. So, David, why do you think we should not trust these guys? What's wrong with
you? It's a weird situation, man. You've got guys who say our entire life's goal is to kill and slaughter Israelis and to wipe them off the map and destroy them. And yet Israel is just never allowed to really deal with these guys. Yeah. You always have to let these guys continue trying to kill you.
And here you have it again, this guy is Ghazi Hamad. Look what he said.
على أرضنا إحنا الدولة لابد أن نزيلها لأنه بالفعل هي تعتبر كارثة أمنية وعسكرية وسياسية للأمة العربية والإسلامية يجب أن تنتهي لذلك إحنا لا نخجل من نقول ذلك.
We are not ashamed to say this with full
قوة إنه إسرائيل لازم نأدبها وحنأدبها مرة ثانية وثالثة ومش هذا حتكون.
We will do this again and again and again. The Al-Aqsa flood, October 7, is just the first. There will be a second and a third.
لا حتكون ثاني وثالث ورابعة لأنه إحنا لدينا إصرار.
The third comes fourth because we have the determination, the resolve, and the capabilities.
ولدينا قرار ولدينا إمكانيات أن نقاتل ونحارب، لكن كما قلت لك بدنا ندفع ثمن. نعم إحنا مستعدين. معلش بدي أقول لك بشكل واضح إحنا اسمنا شعب الشهداء وبنفخر أن نقدم شهداء. إحنا لا نريد.
So yeah, we did not want to harm civilians, so he says, but we did it anyway.
ولا أن تعقيدات في الميدان صارت. في منطقة موجودة وكان هناك في احتفال وكان في سكان وفي منطقة واسعة ليست سهلة على امتداد تقريبا 40 كيلومتر. يجب أن ننتهي.
أن ينتهي وين؟ بقطاع غزة؟
ينتهي إلى لا بتكلم عنه كل أراضي فلسطين.
كل الأراضي الفلسطينية يعني زوال إسرائيل؟
طبعا. وجود
The annihilation of Israel, yes. So this is the ultimate goal. And the world actually wants to force Israel to make peace with these guys, to make deals with these guys. I'll tell you one thing. If I had a neighbor that I know has the ultimate goal to eradicate me once and for all, and the other neighbors are basically coming, I'm beating this guy up. I have the ability to kill this guy, but the neighbors are coming and they're like, "Hey, man, hey, you're beating this guy up. You're too powerful anyway. Leave him alone. Come on, let's make peace. Let's make peace. This is too much pain, too much suffering." And they forced me to make peace with the guy. I would not consider peace, or I would only make peace for the sole purpose of eventually eradicating that guy that wants to eradicate me. If my enemy wants to eradicate me, I will eradicate them. If they want to eradicate Israel, Israel should eradicate them. Nobody should be forcing Israel to make deals with the terrorists, with the rats, with these rodents, these cockroaches. They don't deserve it. They want genocide. If they want genocide, they should be eradicated, and Israel shouldn't be forced to make peace with these guys. That's that. And
too late.
What?
I just said too late because you already have a peace deal. Looks like it's going through, although the vote is still pending, unless the person who said it's a done deal was correct. But as far as we can tell, Israel has not voted. But here's the thing. If the reason Israel has agreed to the deal is because other people have said, look, just give this deal, just grant this deal so Trump looks really cool when he goes into office, and it looks like everyone's just laying down their weapons and so on, knowing that he's about to get there and so on. Part of that deal would be, and Trump has said that Hamas can't be allowed to have a what did he say? That Gaza can't be a terrorist base anymore? I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know if he realizes, like, you don't have to add any terrorists to the mix. They will arrive. They're already there. There are a bunch of them already there. And this deal actually stops Israel from hunting them down. But if you're going to say that it's not going to be some terrorist base or something like that, or that you'll crush them if they try to make it, these guys have already said they're gonna attack again. They're saying, hey, we're going to regroup and we're going to attack again. And at that point, suppose it's 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 8 years from now, or something like that. And they just, now we're ready for another attack, and we go out and attack. Going to be going to sound really, really insane in that situation to say, Israel, come on, let them go again. Let them go again. Ceasefire again. People will still do it. But it will be, I think it'll be less persuasive to people next time. They've done this repeatedly over and over again, but people forget about stuff that happens in 1967 and so on. They forget about that stuff that's that long ago. Everyone remembers this. The entire world is paying attention. It's all over social media. People can't forget this one. If Hamas gets a peace deal now and then they attack again right down the road.
Yeah, some people are saying, why is there still fighting going on? I saw earlier people complaining.
There is no peace deal right now.
Israel
there is no peace deal.
Broke the deal. There is no deal.
There is no deal. Even the deal, if they had signed it right then, the deal wouldn't even go into effect until something like Sunday. But Israel has not agreed to the deal.
Yeah, Israel. So neither side has officially agreed to the deal. The deal is not in place. There currently is no deal officially running. Even if they have agreed to it, it is not officially in place. So at this moment, Hamas is still firing rockets, and Israel is still bombing them. So that's what they do. That's what happens.
Urinating upon one another. That's what they do.
But to be honest, I mean, part of me wishes that Israel had just done it, man. And there would be nobody left to negotiate on behalf of Hamas. US right now is good at chaos and confusion. That's true. Powerful stuff. The deal will be hour by hour for days until it is done. Yeah. So the first phase of it, let's put this into perspective. The first phase of it is 6 weeks long. During those 6 weeks, 33 Israeli hostages will be released. For each released hostage, Israel will release an amount of prisoners, dozens of prisoners. After the during this phase, within 2 weeks into this first phase, they will negotiate the further details of the second phase. And then within the second phase, they are supposed to further negotiate the details of the third phase. At the end of the third phase, each of those phases taking 6 weeks, all remaining hostages within Gaza Strip boundaries are supposed to be released into Israel, dead or alive. They should all be released, but for every single released hostage, Israel is supposed to also release prisoners. And Israel is also supposed to gradually leave the Gaza Strip. The one good thing is, I'm really happy for those people who have been waiting for their families and friends and all of that. The other thing would be, if Israel at the end of this seriously gets out of the Gaza Strip and no longer remains in the field, this would just be disastrous. It would be like returning to prior to October 7, wasting the world's. Now here is the thing: who is paying to rebuild Gaza? It's not Gazans themselves paying for it. It's not Hamas paying for it. It's not even most of the Muslim world paying for it. It's the world paying for it. Even the United States is going to pay lots of money and resources into helping rebuild Gaza, because Hamas had the audacity to destroy everything. We are supposed to pay tons of money to rebuild that hole of filth. Why?
And don't forget that as the entire world funds the rebuilding of Gaza, which has been leveled because of what the terrorist leaders decided, even though several of those terrorist leaders have been killed, there will be the new terrorist leaders. And if they're not billionaires already, they will become billionaires through this. The leaders, the new leaders of Hamas, whoever they are, will become billionaires by people sending them piles of money to rebuild. So they'll become billionaires. They'll be living large. They'll make sure all their kids are driving around in Bugattis and Qatar and so on. And then they'll decide to do it again because they know exactly what will happen. They'll launch another terrorist attack. Israel will bomb them down to rubble. They'll go hide. And then as they're hiding, all they have to do is wait. And after they wait a while, Israel will, this is according to the plan, Israel will eventually relent, and then the world will send billions and billions of dollars of aid in to make them even wealthier. So that's the pattern. Hoping it isn't allowed to continue like this forever. And that if they rise up, if they do this again, then people just say, okay, gloves are off. We told you to stop last time. Now you're just getting attacked again.
In other funny news, there is this thing going on, which the International Court of Justice is getting a new appointee as president, which is Julius Seputini, who is famously against South Africa's genocide claim against Israel, and also has a pro-Israel stance. But here's the thing that I'm wondering, like, while this is, in my opinion, nice to see, why are pro or anti parties in charge of the International Court of Justice? It's kind of weird. It's a weird thing to see, but this is a good development. So that's that. Let's see. As we speak, ceasefire deal must ensure the destruction of Hamas, says Douglas Murray. That's exactly what Douglas Murray would say, of course, who is very based. Aviva. Let's see what Aviva says.
Aviva. Israel, Hamas, and the US and Qatar have officially signed the hostage and ceasefire deal.
Wait, where?
So Aviva just said Israel, Hamas, the US, and Qatar have officially signed the hostage and ceasefire deal.
There you go. That's weird. They said they weren't even voting on it till Saturday. Apparently, they moved up the time frame.
The thing is, over the last 24 hours, there has been such confusion as to where the deal is, what's happening with the deal, who is going to decide, and so on. There has been so much conflicting information.
Yeah, and where's this reported? Because this is, I mean, this is a tweet.
She's an insider. She's an insider. She knows.
Insider. All right.
She was also the UN speechwriter for Israel.
Okay, then
I trust her fully.
Then we trust you.
I also met her in person, and she was totally based. In fact, I took a taxi ride with her from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. And it was quite fun. It was quite fun. Quite funny. Long conversation. So, allegedly, it is signed. Israel-Hamas hostage deal. Let's see. Allegedly signed. It is signed. Update. Let's see the latest update. Yeah, okay. Israeli Prime Minister says the deal has been reached. Reported 4 minutes ago with the Associated Press. Prime Minister Netanyahu shares the news that a deal to return hostages held in the Gaza Strip has been reached. The announcement comes after there were last-minute concerns of failures and so on. He said he will convene his security cabinet on Friday and then the government to approve the ceasefire agreement. So here's the thing: even after the reaching of this agreement, they will still have to. Israel still has to come together to basically put this into practice, to ratify it, and to go through with it.
It's funny you're talking about Hamas and you talk about ratifying something.
Yeah, the ratify. They have to ratify the deal. They have to ratify to be on the same level as Hamas because they're rats.
In order to make a deal, you have to crawl down into their rat holes until you have to ratify.
That's true. That's true. Deal has been reached. Okay, so that's the latest news. The deal has been reached. Let's see current updates. It's always kind of funny.
Hey, look at Amri Israel Chai.
It's hi. I haven't seen the final agreement, but
Chai sounds better because then it sounds like a delicious Indian tea.
I'm drinking tea right now, so it can't.
Isn't it interesting how that word, no matter where you go, means something awesome?
Yeah, it does. It is. I haven't seen the final agreement, but here are my thoughts as to why Israel is accepting it despite looking like a crappy deal, and it will not make it to the second phase when we all know it. This is the thing that I think too. Nobody really believes that the first phase will actually hold up, and there will be no fighting. Even Trump and his team have said that it doesn't end with Hamas standing. I know that I'm not an expert. Well, if you're not an expert, then I can't read it. Okay, well, you're following me, so I'm going to read it.
Smart person.
I know that I'm not an expert, just armchair critic when it comes to politics, but here are my thoughts for what they are worth. Right before the pager attacks, a couple of Israeli friends were discussing their concerns over an attack from Lebanon through the tunnels. There was a word that an October 7th of the North was imminent. I said, has stated time again that this conflict is not over until Hamas is permanently dealt with. Yes. Personally think sending all of them back to their homeland of Jordan and Egypt will be best for everyone. That's my 2 cents. Okay, so what she's saying that it will probably not hold up and it will eventually result in the cleansing of Israel, of Hamas, and taking control of the Philadelphia corridor and so on. There is only one solution, to be very honest, to this whole thing, to this whole Gaza charade, which is that Israel takes control of the entire territory. Much of the population living in Gaza is relocated safely to a different place. because this is a project. The project has obviously failed. There is no future with it. Much of the population living there needs to be safely relocated to a different place, and then Israel needs to annex it and make it officially part of Israel. In fact, the same thing needs to be done with the West Bank, also known as correctly as Judea and Samaria, where the majority of the population probably that doesn't want to have peace and that doesn't want to live in peace needs to be safely relocated somewhere else, and then Israel needs to annex it. Eventually, on the map, Israel should be in charge of the entirety of the land that is currently known as Israel and Palestine. All of it shall be Israel. This is the only solution. There is no realistic other solution.
I wasn't trusting Yisrael Chai, but she also follows me, so never mind. We're both good. She follows both of us. That is the most credibility anyone can have in our eyes. Sorry.
Powerful. Now it all makes sense.
It is. Hey.
What?
It is good. It is going to be an interesting 2 months, isn't it?
Israel Chai.
Like what happened? So they agree to the deal. It is going to be an interesting 2 months to see what happens and who sticks to it, who doesn't, if anyone violates it, if they actually keep up the agreement. Interesting stuff.
Hamas broke the ceasefire back in November 2023 with the first hostage exchange. Yeah, they did. You can't really trust them.
Wait, you can't trust Hamas?
Yeah.
And really, this is where you have to. This is where you find out what Hamas is all about and what their level of dedication is. Because now they're going to have an agreement on the table. And so they can say, okay, let's just keep the agreement so we can fight in the future and rebuild. Or they might, they could say, nope, let's go ahead and break the deal, make Israel attack us again so we can keep the heat on Israel and keep a bunch of idiot protesters protesting.
That's what they do. That's what they do. That's what they do. Here is the thing. You have hostages that are held by Hamas, which some pro-Palestine people describe as prisoners of war, which just makes one sick. This family, famously known, the Bibas family, with this little baby here, Kfir Bibas, was taken hostage together. They were all taken hostage. They took a little baby hostage that was under the age of 1. So this entire family was taken hostage, and they are not prisoners of war. They are hostages who were taken simply because they are in Israel. That's it. Simply because they are in Israel. Because they are civilians, they are peaceful people in Israel. That's it. These animals came in here and took a bunch of regular civilian human beings as hostages and started calling them prisoners of war. They equate this even nowadays to the prisoners held in Israel who are held for different offenses. The vast majority for being suspected or tied to different offenses like aggressions and violence against authorities and civilians and so on. These people did nothing at all to anybody. This child here, they took a freaking baby hostage. They took a baby hostage. These are the animals that we're dealing with. A baby.
It'd be interesting if Israel says, okay, we agree to this deal. Give us our hostages back. Okay, we got our hostages back. Psych! We don't negotiate with terrorists, and they just bomb the crap out of them.
And there are lots of things that might be in the planning here, but I don't know. Yeah, that's the Hamas has said that
will be awesome. Will be awesome for those families to come back, man.
Hamas has said that this baby or the others might already be dead, but nobody has verifications of any of that. So
what?
Hamas has said that.
Yeah,
that this family
whenever I like, can you hear me?
Yes.
Have you for the last 8 months, whenever I bring up freeing hostages, will say, come on, none of those hostages are alive. And it's like, dude, at least some of them are alive. Those hostages are more valuable than gold. Every hostage they have is going to be, back then I was thinking 50 or 100, but the deal is like 30 to 50 and so on. That's those are worth 50 or 100 jihadis a piece. You will keep them alive if you can. If it gets to a situation where you can't, then you won't. But some of those, yeah, there are hostages who are alive there, and so hopefully that includes that entire family.
And they know very well that Israelis value their people. Israelis value the lives of their own people, and they even value the bodies of their own people and honor them and love them and want them. Meanwhile, in Gaza, if you're dead, you can just be thrown away into the trash, and the next one comes and fights and dies. They know that there is a difference here where the so-called Palestinian side cares about, they love death, while the Israeli side loves life. They know this very, very well, which is why they use hostages for negotiations. Anyway, I know that there are some imbeciles in the chat occasionally. I'm just kind of ignoring them today. I don't really want to engage with neo-Nazis and 60 IQ people and all that. But I'm going to just ban some people here permanently. Groper banned. Groper banned. Let's see. Atrocities heroic. There's Hamas. If so, the U.S. will have moral responsibility. What about he's getting delayed audio? The story is Judaism in a nutshell. Okay, anybody who is a moderator in the chat, anyone who posts the regular anti-Semitic bullshit, just go ahead and ban them permanently.
Gladly. D-Wood's on it. D-Wood is a blocking machine.
Powerful. Normally, I don't immediately block, but if anyone is doing it today, just block him. Not worth it at all.
AP's in a blocking mood. I'm permanently in a blocking mood. But.
If people will come and say, I saw some guy earlier, like, I remember the USS Liberty. Oh yeah, you do? How freaking old are you? You freaking imbecile. You dumb.
Gripers, come out and play. Come on, Gripers, where are you at?
Like 16-year-old kid listening to Nick Fuentes says, I remember the USS Liberty. The USS, you haven't even read a freaking book, you idiot.
Hey.
Dumb children. Anyway.
Hey, you remember when that Groiper showed up and said, it's Groiping time, and then groped all over everyone?
Yeah, that's what they do. They grope and grope and grope. Henceforth we will have the receipts, you see, said Jack Ray. Giovanni Garcia, AP, more like UP on one another, intellectually, of course. That's true.
Urinating upon one another. That's what they do.
Matthias says, just watched your new video about Uthman. I mean hijab, playing victim. Did Elon threaten to nuke hijab? I think he already did nuke hijab.
Elon threatened to nuke hijab?
Garbled words. This was a win for Palestinianism. How do we reward countries for invading another in the most savage way? I mean, there is also one aspect, which is that we kind of went into this yesterday or the other day. For a nation to permanently fight an insurgent force is brutal. There would be no way for Israel to finalize this war quickly. It would probably take years for Israel to finish this, which would be very, very difficult and a very heavy burden on the population of Israel and so on. At some point, they need to take a break from all of this. Trying to eradicate a small force of insects is very, very difficult, significantly more difficult than fighting an actual army that has some discipline and some human aspect. So there's that. Daniel Gruen, ideologically molested? Well, projection is real. What do you mean?
Are you sick in the mind? Are you mentally enslaved and intellectually subservient and intellectually molested and ideologically molested?
That'll teach you. Ayatollah Khamenei, guys, isn't this great? We finally have Middle East peace for all times. We are the world. We are the children. Michael James. I'd just like to take a moment to offer my thanks and gratitude to Mohammed Hijab. His sound bites make this stream 10 times funnier.
They
This
do.
man has real problems.
Yeah.
To his credit, Mohammed Hijab makes all of this, everything we do, more fun. Can you imagine if all the time we were trying to respond to like Shabir Ali? And me strong gorilla than you. It's way more fun to do that. Go to shower. It's more disgusting, but it's more fun.
You're hiding, boy. You're hiding.
Wayne Quigley, AP, you need to watch Piers Morgan tonight. The most childish white English Hamas supporting girl was on. Really? That's interesting.
Really? Hey, we should check that out.
You need to check that out. That sounds interesting. Sarah F. I will not disclose who defendant number 1 is. Steve McLovin, Trump invited Shia Imam Husham al-Husseini to lead his inauguration prayer. Who's ready to see him make salat? That is one thing that David should make a video about. Like, if I had a YouTube channel, I would make a video about this, but David has a YouTube channel, so he should probably make a video about this. Wait, what is this? Getting a notification from Reuters?
I've seen conflicting things. I've seen he's going to be there, and I've seen other people say no, it's not going to happen, and so on. I mean, I think it's interesting. It's obviously part of the deal, right? Hey, Muslims of Michigan support me to get elected, and we'll give you some perks.
Muslims of Michigan unite.
I will, guys. Matter of fact, I wasn't even thinking about it, but that is a good idea to take the video of that and dissect it.
Dissect the script. That guy is a pro-Hezbollah imam who also shouted death to America and death to Jews in the past. So it's kind of a funny thing to have this guy on to pray during Donald Trump's inauguration. What is this? What are we doing here? Venus Envy said Israel won the war and Gaza should have no right to make any demands after what they did. Israel winning should equal strip reverts to Israel control. This is dumb. Happy for hostages' families, though. Yeah. That's what they do.
By the way, what is happening there?
What? Where? Who?
As far as who's running the place, if they're saying Israel has to get out, that's not just going to be Hamas goes on as normal, right? Is someone else going in there to say, okay, Israel's out, but we're gonna stay in place here to monitor the situation?
That's the thing. Lots of people inside Israel, even allies of Netanyahu to some extent, have pressured Netanyahu from the beginning of this war to work on and reveal an after-war plan, which would be, okay, let's say we are done destroying Hamas. What are we doing then? And Netanyahu's government has not done that yet, so they haven't really revealed a plan yet. And some people, part of the government, were protesting this and saying, if we don't have a plan, then we can't continue with this, and so on. I still don't see a plan. But one of the suggestions was that
I've got a better suggestion.
That Israel would permanently or long-term occupy the Gaza Strip and take control of it and put different forces in charge of taking of being the civil administration, but no Hamas or anything else would be allowed. Yeah. What?
Oh, that. See, the reason that's a problem is because then everything that happens, the attention's still on Israel every step of the way. Look at this. Look, Israel shot this guy, this poor guy who was, throwing rocks at them or something like that. And so the attention is still always on Israel. I'd like some situation where other Middle Eastern nations, as part of an Abraham Accords 2.0, normalize relations with Israel. They all agree to be partners moving forward. And some of these other Middle Eastern nations agree to keep the terrorists in check. You all think, no, that's a bad idea, and so on. Some of the Muslim nations are more brutal on guys who get out of line than anyone else. Look at them. They will gladly slaughter hundreds of thousands of each other to not interfere with what they're doing and so on. So find some nation that's not particularly that actually doesn't want the terrorism to continue and so on. There are places like that. There are places that are like, hey, And you can see it, right? You can see none of these other nations want to help these people at all. And so if you had some other nations or something like that that are involved that agree, we're going to do this, we're going to keep these guys in control. There are places that would do that for if there's something in it for them. They would there are places that would keep the peace if there was something in it for them. And anyone could you can make a deal with those guys.
That's what they do. That's what they do. I mean, here's the thing is also, I genuinely think that the whole idea of having a two-state solution should be dead and should not be even considered anymore. It's a ridiculous idea. And seriously, I mean, what kind of a freaking country is what? How is this a map?
It's a pretty crap map.
How is this a map? Seriously, it's one thing to have these two chunks of land and call it a country, and this is not, and the country here is not even united. The guys who rule over this part are basically at war with those who rule over this part. But then, even if you somehow recognize these two as separate entities, you still have the problem that due to the completely unreliable and just, I don't know what to call it, horrible aspect of the Palestinian Authority, Israel is in charge of the majority of the West Bank already. Do you really want to do you really want to stop that and give this whole chunk of land as a gift to these people?
I would if I thought for a second they could be trusted, and I don't.
Nobody can trust them.
I would gladly have a two-state solution if it would work. It just will not. It'll be if people don't understand why you don't want these to be states, because once you're your own country, then the rest of the world is welcome to send you endless piles of weapons. They have to smuggle the weapons now or build them themselves, but mainly smuggling them into Gaza and so on. If they're their own country, then no one stops them. And
here's a solution.
It would be a massive terrorist base. Both those places would be the biggest terrorist bases in the world.
Here's a solution. 2/3 of the population living here in these in these parts should be with help and in peace relocated to different places outside of these borders. Others should be relocated to the Gaza Strip. The Gaza Strip should be left to the Gazans alone to rebuild it, while also establishing a massive buffer zone that is significantly larger than the one that was in place last time, and it should be completely inside the Gaza Strip like this, you know. So they should have a little bit of place to live, and then Israel should completely lift anything in terms of blockades and just leave it to their own devices and let them do whatever the hell they want to do, since they so badly talk about freedom and autonomy and all of that. Just do it. Put a huge, gigantic buffer zone in here and leave them to their own devices.
Hey,
and
can you imagine this? These guys have one strip of land that is beachfront property in the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Like, that land would be worth a lot of money. It's straight up beachfront property on the Mediterranean, and they can't manage to do anything with it except terrorize people.
Do you know how freaking valuable this place would be if it was under Israeli control?
I'm going to say it here. Elon Musk should just buy it. And do with it as he sees fit. Angel on the Hill said, I think Douglas Murray suggested Egypt could go into Gaza instead of Israel. Yeah, you'd have to see what the deal would be, what the agreement would be. But it just it does suck from a defensive perspective. What makes most sense is Israel keeping control. But we know that everything that happens, we know what happens, right? They keep sending their kids, hey, kid, go over and bust this soldier in the head with this stick and stuff, hoping to get a reaction and stuff. As at least they just snatch up the kid or something like that. Then they're all there with cameras. Oh, look at this, look at this. That would be endless if the IDF is constantly walking through the streets to keep order. So what you'd be doing is you'd either have some sort of coalition of Western nations retaining control. That's one, or you have some sort of Muslim nations like Egypt or something like that, Saudi Arabia maintaining order with agreements on what happens if they don't. or you have just Hamas. Hamas goes back to leading. The Hamas going back to just leading is the one that I would say has to be off the table.
I'm pretty sure that Egypt doesn't want anything to do with Gaza.
I agree. That's why I said there would have to be a deal, but it would have you need someone who's going to keep these guys in line, or it's just inevitable. Put Hamas back in charge. What will happen? You're getting this over again very soon.
Egypt built a huge wall to Gaza, and they basically got rid of any livability on their own side of the border to make it just totally empty. It's ridiculous because Egypt in the past had nothing but trouble with Gaza. They were in charge of it. They were actually keeping it occupied under their force, giving it an ounce of autonomy, but it didn't work out. It was completely full of terror. And eventually they went to war. Israel took it. Israel wanted to give it back, and Egypt said, nope, not having that. Do with it what you want. I don't care.
You know who should be given control over that?
What?
North Korea.
Look at this, man.
Kim Jong-un. Give that whole place to Kim Jong-un. Let him deal with it. He knows how to deal. He knows how to deal with it.
Look at this wall here.
It's a base wall. Why doesn't, by the way, that's exactly what Israel should have. They have a much smaller fence system.
This is a massive wall that Egypt put in place. Does this look like Egypt wants to unite with? Does this look like Egypt wants to help Gaza? I'm not talking
about helping them. I'm saying, hey, you guys have your soldiers in there, and that way it's not Israelis. And here's the agreement with the world. The world will give you these perks if you maintain order in that hellhole. But guys, this wall right here, this is what the Muslim world really thinks about groups like Hamas. This is what they really think about the people of Gaza. We want nothing to do with these people ever. We don't want one of these people coming over to our country. They understand what you're dealing with there. And but it's shame on Israel for not just tearing down the fence and letting these guys into their country. The Muslim world doesn't want these guys in their country at all.
That's true. Gaza, Egypt needs to popularize belly dancing again. Yes, they do. They need to change their ways. Ayatollah Khamenei, no job. I have been ravaging this man.
I've been ravaging this man and ravaging him. Oh, yeah. You need to put that on your clip, man. You need to I've been ravaging this man. And every time we bring someone up, I've been ravaging this man.
Heroes Workshop. You guys nailed it. Something is about to come out about hijab. He's softening the landing with his flying donkey. That's true.
Yeah, what's about to happen, guys? What's this guy about to go to court for? It's just funny. It's just funny that little video there is like a compilation of stuff he stole from Sheikh Uthman, is faking a hate crime against yourself, and so on, and stuff he learned from Andrew Tate. If you know you're about to be charged with something, just say it's because powerful forces are coming after you because of the amazing work you're doing, and they're getting really scared. And so
Muhammad, this is what I said, man. Look at this. It's exactly what I said.
What? Knows Elon Musk very well, who is in
something somebody would say if he
blackmailed. Essentially a blackmail. Yes, you heard it right. I was blackmailed that if I do not stop attacking Elon Musk, that I will be framed for a crime I did not commit.
This is very funny. It sounds like something somebody would say if he just committed a crime that is really bad, and he wants to kind of find an excuse to get out of that.
Or not necessarily that he just committed something that he's being investigated for years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, now they're finally looking into this. Oh, now they're finally looking into it. They've seen the things I've said in public, and then they've investigated my my text messages and so on, and found me supporting all these kinds of things and so on. And now I'm being investigated. You see, it's Elon Musk. It's Elon Musk because I made fun of his dad and his son. And all the fans, I bet they're like, oh, Mohammed Hijab is so brave. He's so powerful. He's such a powerful voice.
I've been blackmailed.
Don't back down. Never give up, Mohammed Hijab. Never give up. Screaming insults against the families of everyone.
I've been blackmailed. Blackmailed. That's
hey, in fact, this could have been sort of his scheme going back a little bit to where he even started with Elon, right? He could be like, oh no, I found out I'm being investigated for stuff. Oh, I know. I'll talk a bunch of trash to Elon Musk, talk about his whole family, and then I can say that he's blackmailing me. He's blackmailing me, threatening to frame me. There you go. Israel tried to buy me. I said no. Guys, did you know that various Muslim governments have offered us $100 trillion if we will just stop exposing Muhammad?
Yeah.
$100 trillion they've offered us. But we won't do it, ladies and gentlemen. We will not sell out like that. Now praise us for being so noble that we turned down $100 trillion.
Praise be
from Muslim governments. We will not sell out. We will not sell out.
Praise.
What's evidence for that? Hijab's case.
I will this information at any point in time.
Not as big evidence if we try to defend Islam. Speaking of that, why does Muhammad Hijab not have a Wikipedia article? Somebody please write a Wikipedia article. We have to have all the things collected that Muhammad Hijab did and said in the past. Yeah, you're just... See, good point. I agree.
Hey, yo, someone posted Muhammad Hijab, ravager of men. He just post that one little clip. I'm going to do that. If no one else does it, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to tweet Muhammad Hijab, ravager of men, in just that little clip.
Muhammad Hijab did what to men?
He makes it too easy. And the longer he goes, the easier he makes it to completely make fun of him.
Shocking. Muhammad Hijab did this to men.
Oh, hey. When he's trying to basically set the stage for when he's charged with something, charged with crimes or whatever, I was thinking in terms of, is he in some sort of since he defends child marriage so much, is he involved in something creepy like that? Is he promoting terror behind the scenes? Because that would fit in with a lot of what he said. But there is this issue of the that we know of, that scandal that Hijab and his dad are in, as far as selling these fake Cambridge degrees and stuff. Maybe he knows maybe he knows that someone's finally going to look into this, and as soon as they come for him, you see, it's the Matrix. Elon Musk's assistant told me that he was going to frame me for this, and so he built a time machine and went back in time and set up this scheme in my dad's name, and then I work for it.
That's what they do all the time. You see.
Wait, is this real? Wait a minute.
Who are these? Who are these people, AP?
These are Gazans.
What? No. Gazans are all starving and they're on the ground. They're on the ground because they can't even. No, Gazans can't even walk, AP, because they're all starving, let alone jumping around.
Look at what they're shouting. What they're shouting here is Khaybar ya Yahud, Jaysh Muhammad Safiyud, which means, and keep in mind, this is happening after announcements of the ceasefire deal. So after 15 months of crying and playing the victim and claiming that there's a genocide, Israel genocide. Why is this happening? We're not even doing anything. We just want to live and just want to be free. Please, world, please give me money and food, help us and all that. After all of that, as ceasefire negotiations are announced, these kids go out there and shout Khaybar, Khaybar, Ya Yehud. David, what does Khaybar, Khaybar, Ya Yehud, Jaish Muhammad Sawfa Yud mean?
That's where the Jews are reminded to remember Khaybar and that the army of Muhammad will return, which I've always thought is the stupidest, most insanely idiotic thing they can chant. Why? That's when Muhammad was poisoned by a Jewish woman. They lost their prophet because of the Battle of Khaybar. They lost their prophet. Well, not just because of the Battle of Khaybar, because there's the jihadis are so insanely stupid. Muhammad was so insanely stupid that when a Jewish woman whose entire family had just been killed by Muslims, when she offered to cook him some delicious food, he agreed. He took a bite of the food. His buddy died from eating the food, but Muhammad survived for another 3 years in complete agony because the poison did some sort of internal damage. And then he died, wallowing in freakish misery. And I'm not exaggerating. Aisha, who'd seen a lot of stuff in her life, said she had never seen anyone in more agony than Muhammad as he was suffering the effects of this poison. And Muslims brag about this as their victory. Think about this, because you'll understand it right now. You're looking and saying, "What? You killed 1,200 people. You lost tens of thousands. You got bombed down to nothing, and now you're bragging as this is a great victory." Look at the Khaybar chant. It's, yeah, you got our prophet, but we subjugated a tribe of Jews. We subjugated you. Yeah, we lost our prophet, the most important thing in the universe to us, but we killed and subjugated some Jews, and that makes it all worth it. The mentality you get is Jews are such tremendous enemies of the Muslims that anytime you could do anything to Jews, whether killing, raping, whatever, it does not matter the cost. They could kill 1 million of you in return. They could level your entire country in return. They could even kill your prophet in return, and it would all be worth it. That's the exalted, it's borderline idolatry of Jews, the mentality in here. It's like the Jews matter more than anything else in the universe to these guys.
Look at this. You don't hate the media enough, as the saying goes. You have an article here, which is, or a video, Palestinians celebrate as Israel-Hamas ceasefire deal announced, with the caption, celebrations erupted across Gaza as news spread of an imminent ceasefire announced, with people rejoicing at the idea of more humanitarian aid coming in and an end to Israeli airstrikes. This is by NBC News. Meanwhile, what they're showing is the very same crowd here that we just watched. But they don't show the side of... They're depicting this very same crowd, these very same people, and post them partly, depicting this very same crowd as just rejoicing because finally, things will return to normal and humanitarian aid will come in and no more airstrikes. Yay! People are happy. Look, Palestinians are happy. This is the media. I swear. If after these 15 months, anybody still comes to me and says, the Jews are controlling the media, Zionists control the media, I really don't know what to tell these people. I really do not know what... I can't possibly find the words to tell these absolute imbeciles what's actually on my mind. You have the largest news organizations here putting out pure pro-Palestine propaganda. In fact, I would say that this is clear. This is very, very much anti-Jewish propaganda. It's anti-Semitic propaganda. Imagine you had Nazis going around and shouting, "Gas them all, gas them, kill them all, yeah, get rid of the Jews, get rid of the Jews, get rid of the Jews." And the media comes in, NBC News comes in, films part of it, where they seemingly say quite happy things and says, Germans are celebrating the return to normalcy and the reaching of negotiations and the coming of humanitarian aid. This is exactly what's happening here, pretty much. God, this makes me sick, man. Khaybar Khaybar Ya Yahud means Khaybar Khaybar, O Jews, the army of Muhammad will return. It's a direct threat to Jews based on historical basis to attack and eradicate them. That's what it is. After ceasefire announcements, as the world says, "Please, Israel, it's time to stop killing them," they go out there and start celebrating and say, "Yeah, we will kill the Jews. We will kill the Jews." These people don't deserve to live. And this is just my opinion, of course. You can have a different opinion. In my opinion, these people don't deserve to live. That's it. It's as simple as that. It's not a human culture.
Atmosphere, the V sign for victory being displayed
Reminds me of another celebration in Gaza and the so-called Palestinian territories.
East Jerusalem today among jubilant Palestinians that the United States had been subject to this attack. What are we to make of that, Jennifer? Yasser Arafat may issue this condemnation. Look at this. We're seeing people applauding, clapping, smiling, happy to know that thousands of Americans have died in this sneak attack. And there you see a V for victory sign held up to the camera. What are we to make of that? And what are we to make of what about what Yasser Arafat said today?
The United States blamed by some Palestinians for its ongoing support, as it is seen, of Israel in this conflict, in this Middle Eastern conflict. However,
this is what's so messed up. You have some people coming and be like, "Oh, America first," and then going and blaming Israel and supporting these bastards here. These are the same people who were overjoyed when 9/11 happened. The same people were overjoyed. They were so happy when 9/11 happened. AP has become what he has been fighting his whole life. No, I haven't become what I have been fighting my whole life. I haven't become what I have been fighting my whole life. If you think that, then you seriously have problems.
What have you been fighting?
You probably have some, I don't know, you probably need to get yourself checked. If I react to those people who believe in nothing but hate and eradication with the language that they deserve at this point, that's what I do. I am not somebody who advocates for chaos and death and destruction. And you should not be stupid enough to also approach with the most kind part of your heart of those who want to kill you. I'm banned you now. I have no time for this kind of bullshit today. All right.
He warned you all. He warned you all. He said he said he's in a banning kind of mood.
That's what they do.
Man tells you he's in a banning kind of mood.
Mojab suffers from MCS, main character syndrome. Michael and James, what has Mr. Musk achieved?
No, that's an actual thing.
Is this? It is?
Hillbilly redneck. That's what yeah. Main character syndrome. Yeah, that's where you're like you're the one who matters in the story that you're in and stuff like that.
That's what they do.
Everyone else is a secondary character.
Hunting shock. Dawa guys are more fragile than the specific shaped decoration that had Allah names on it. You mean this? Unfortunately, it lost its foundation. So
you should duct tape it together. You should duct tape the thing together and fix it, and then it'll be like kind of loosely holding together like Allah.
Yeah. Because if you put this inside Allah now, it would be stuck, you know. So,
no, it would be stuck for Allah. It'd be stuck for Allah.
Whence hitherto thine henceforth speaketh. Ayatollah Khamenei, Mojab is like an Arab version of Uncle Monty from With Nail and I. What a mad lad. I don't agree. I don't know what that is.
We don't know what With Nail and I is.
I have no idea what that is. I'm not American. Gotab said, AP, you will be hitherto humiliated henceforth for being the furthermost conduit of the parsimonious, inalienable proponent of preposterous libel. Tez bought a limerick for two special guys who in Islam are both very wise. The Quran and Hadith cause us nothing but grief, so we thank you for opening our eyes. Thank you, Tezbot. That was a very beautiful poem. It seems like it came from the bottom of your heart.
What's a better poem, this or the Quran?
This. The A-Key Crusader says, I feel like this is a troll that texted him and he's just dumb enough to fall for it.
Or it's one of his buddies using some sort of fake account to text him so that he can give the receipts to the stupid, idiotic ummah when they're like, oh no, why is Hijab being arrested?
It's, what? I don't know. It's, so the way Muhammad Hijab is, he would probably see something that is obviously fake, but he would just ignore the fact that it is obviously fake. In fact, he would use it happily to create a fake scenario of him being threatened. Ligamathika know nothing like Mojab talking in pseudo-legalistic language is one of the most cringy things.
No nothings.
It is. No nothings.
It is.
Ayatollah Khamenei, but why is bro so sassy? Because bro is sassy. Francis Boyer, when will AP come to my humble channel and when will David help AP to be on time? God bless you both and everyone. Happy New Year. Depends on what you want to talk about, Francis Boyer. Orthodoxia and orthopraxia.
Dude, that's an ex-Muslim. That's an ex-Muslim from the UK, and you're not even helping him coming on his humble channel.
Depends on what you want to talk about. I just said it.
He wants to talk about why Turkish people are such losers.
Or he wants to talk about
homosexuality.
Francis, that's all you have to say to him. I want to talk about why Turkish people are such losers. And people are like, oh, I'll be there.
Joshua Stubblefield, this guy's still around, shouldn't be busy fighting lawsuits from Alan Dershowitz. I wonder what happened to that. Ayatollah Khamenei, can you imagine how bad the crime must be for Mojab to do the literal Braveheart speech? I'm officially predicting a Mojab Destiny video leak. I actually referenced
and
Braveheart.
people have informed me that if I do not stop attacking Elon Musk, there will be a leaked video where it turns out that I'm the one from the Destiny video. But it's all CGI. Elon Musk is using his technology to CGI me into that video. Can you imagine? That's what they do.
Can you imagine? Who at some point showed Takbir.
What I have, unlike what you have, cannot be stripped away from me. Possessions, money, health can be stripped away.
I'm a hero.
But faith and Iman cannot be stripped away. Even if you amass all of the armies of the world, the American army, NATO, England, this, that, try and threaten Muhammad Hijab, yes, you could take his life. Yes, you could imprison him, take his freedom, but you can never take his faith.
Wait, that was in the actual video?
Yes.
I thought you were adding a stupid sound effect to make it sound stupid.
No, that's in the actual video, man.
Oh, that makes it even funnier because you're adding the music and stuff. I thought you added like the weakest takbir and Allahu Akbar I've ever heard in my entire life to make fun. Like I thought you actually searched for worst takbir ever.
Oh, that's
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Hijab is our hero. He said this. And we just spontaneously did that, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't planned. Hijab didn't say, okay, and when I say this, and when I say you will never take my freedom, then you all yell takbir and give me the most powerful Allahu Akbar ever. It will be very powerful for my video. What is this? Oh, we love you, hijab. Please don't stop what you're doing. Please escalate. Please escalate. By all means, please go after Elon Musk. And when you are inevitably charged for whatever it is you've done, it's so many options. We will gladly make sure the world understands what you've gone through.
He probably invited some guys from the street to his studio and said, "Hey guys, when I say this, you will say Allahu Akbar. Come on, man. Come on, do it. I'll give you a few. I'll give you 5 quid. That's what I'll do."
You got Ali Dawa back there, smiles to Jenna. No, I will say, as I'm fed grapes by Smiles to Jenna. Come on, Smiles to Jenna, I need you to grape me in the mouth like you do to Ali Dawa. Please.
Mr. Takbir, Allahu Akbar. He turned himself into a hero here. You actually have people playing along with this charade. It's just so ridiculous.
You can take away my money. You can take away this. You can take away that. You can take away my life, but you can never take away my faith.
Takbir, Allahu Akbar. The Braveheart music or the brain fart music, which is more appropriate here. So that's what I did.
Oh gosh, hijab. He's in full meltdown mode, ladies and gentlemen. Full meltdown mode. This is why I say you want all narcissists in place as the leaders of your opponents, because these are guys who really crave attention, and if for any reason they're ever not the center of attention, they'll start doing stuff, really stupid stuff, to get attention back. They'll fake hate crimes against themselves, like Sheikh Uthman. They'll do this. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, has targeted me for framing me for a crime, and they said this. They even said, I have the messages when they said, we are going to frame you for a crime. And then when I'm framed for the crime, I can say, look, everyone, he said he was going to frame me. Good luck. Good luck with that as your legal defense, hijab.
That's powerful.
Dumb as can be.
Powerful. Muslims make goats sing with their throat, so that's not haram. That's true. And Wyckoff, who was the Muslim Hitler you played? Will Germany crack down on him? That was Pierre Vogel, who also has another video. I used to have this as my alarm sound sometime. Here he says, and this is the problem. This is the problem, that we don't want to stand up, or that we don't want to get up.
Nein, das Problem sind die Ideen im System.
In German, this sounds like he's talking about waking up. So I had this as my alarm in the mornings.
Das ist das Problem. Glaubt ihr, das ist das Problem? Dass wir nicht aufstehen wollen. Takbir! Takbir!
That's how it's done, hijab. Yeah. Now play the hijab version again.
This is how it's done, man. I can't go back to that. I already closed.
Man, gosh. weakest takbir ever made.
Take beer. Beer is haram. Son of a bin says, in Islam, the covenant that the nations would be blessed through Israel is never fulfilled. How do you think the common Muslim reconciles this? Well, they say that Israel went astray, and the children of Israel went astray, and Allah no longer loves them, no longer likes them. He's upset with them. Allah can break and make his promises. David, what do you think?
Well, it's not like he's the God of consistency, so.
The God of consistencies.
Hey, by the way, we never went through it, but here's what, ladies and gentlemen, what you have in the Quran. It's interesting. It says that Israel would be punished 2 times. It would be 2 punishments for Israel for their rebellion. And if you go to the classical Muslim commentaries, they can't figure out what this refers to, because Israel had more huge problems than 2, right? Even if you want to just go for the times when they're conquered and they're deported and so on, you're dealing with the Assyrians, the Babylonians, and the Romans. So that would be 3. And that's before you get to anything like Hitler or anything else. But so the big 3 events on the nation. So you go to the Muslim commentaries and they'll say, oh, this refers to the Assyrians and the Babylonians, or they'll say it refers to the Babylonians and the Romans, or it refers to this or refers to that. Now, the problem is, Israel's supposed to be crushed after these 2 great punishments happen. And so what do you do with Israel then getting its nation back, you had Sheikh Yasser Qadi say, well, I'm going to interpret one of these as in the future, and that it's Muslims who are going to be destroying Israel in the future. So now they have to say that the first of the punishments was either the Assyrians or the Babylonians or the Romans. We don't know which. And that the second one is in the future, and that it's going to be Muslims crushing them. But I don't know. It just seems like they can make the Quran say whatever they want it to say. And it's pathetic.
That's what they do. Look up Corey Gill Schuster. I already looked him up. Style and rail woodworking. I guarantee Hamas does something to break the ceasefire, but then convinces morons that it's Israel's fault. That's what they always do. Knows too much. Capitulating to terrorism is never good. This deal is horrible. It teaches Israel's enemies that terrorism pays off and invites more of it. Just look at the Gilad Shalit deal. That was a horrible deal. That was one person for 1,000 prisoners, wasn't it? Jack Ray, they see me digging, they hate trying to catch me digging dirty. That's exactly what they do. That's what they do in Gaza. Get a VTuber model of Muhammad and dance around with it. David probably doesn't know what a VTuber is.
I don't.
Jack Ray, Hamas has too many low down dirty dudes. You dig? Yes. With the puns here. And Wyckoff, these Gazans must be freezing wearing those wife-beater shirts. That's true. Is it me, but doesn't feel like this whole October 7 feel like Islam last hurrah to unify Islamic world because of the incoming apostate avalanche?
Yeah, we said that along the way, that you have a level of panic that is in the ummah, and they need something to rally people around because Islam is basically imploding and falling apart from inside. It's worse in the Muslim world than it is in places like they have some level of momentum in places like the UK and so on, and they're just panicking there, hoping that the legal system doesn't change and then they get deported or something like that. But Islam is crumbling from within in the Muslim world, and yeah, there are people who want to set things off deliberately to rally the Muslim world around their cause and so on.
I saw this image earlier and I thought this is a funny way to put it. This one here. Open air prison, victory. Literally. This is what they do. Those gardens must be freezing. They are. Fox McCloud, is it me, but doesn't feel like this whole thing? Yes. Abu Baker says, should we be concerned about the new incoming administration vis-a-vis Kurds and Christians in Syria, given Trump's reluctance to get embroiled in war? Trump betrayed the Kurds before. So he will probably do it again. But then again, so did Biden. So that's just what we do. And also the Christians. That's the funny thing. We don't really care about Christians when they are a minority in the Muslim world. That's it. That's what happens. Or does anybody care about the Christians?
Spotlight on what's going on there, man.
Does anybody care about the Christians in Pakistan? No, they don't. Michael James, is there any other genocide in history where the victims could end it at any time they choose? Imagine if the people in the camps had that option. Yeah. Michigan tricker, perhaps to sweeten the deal a little, Israel should throw in a complimentary pagers and walkie-talkies for the criminals they let out of prison.
That would be an interesting part of the deal. And as part of the deal, every Hamas member must accept one of these special pagers to stay informed of any updates. Be based.
That's what they do. Israel should release all terror. Betrayed how, you asked? Betrayed by abruptly getting out of Syria in the middle of the Kurdish SDF forces, having worked with America and having helped America for the longest time, just being left there with their things in their hands, and with Turkey then starting to bomb them as a result of Trump suddenly backing out of Syria. That's how Trump betrayed the Kurds last time. Might as well do it again. And yes, you could say Kurds are no angels, but then why in the world is the United States in there working together with them all the time, and so on, and being basically, and why was America there to begin with? The Kurds are the best party in this whole Syrian conflict.
People don't get it. They're like, why can't they just be the nicest people in the world? They wouldn't have survived. You wouldn't have survived if you didn't have some rough people amongst you.
Yep. And I know some people will be like, how dare you say something negative about Donald Trump? Please grow up, man. Grow up.
We will say whatever we want at any time.
I voted for Donald Trump, and I partly regret it because I did it reluctantly. But I mean, even if you are a fan of the guy, it should be reasonable for you to accept that there are certain aspects that might be worth criticizing.
And this whole idea of, hey, this is our guy, therefore this person should not be criticized ever. No, we reject that. We think it's stupid and insane.
Yes.
And it's cult-like. It's cult-like behavior.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. If she doesn't like being in that camp, I can think of a couple of other camps she can move to in the mountains of Afghanistan. Nothing could be worse than the whiteness that she's a part of.
That'll be the next thing. These blonde-haired white chicks who feel so bad about being white and blonde, they can just go to a place like Afghanistan and show their sincerity. I'm going to show the world. I'm just going to go let these guys just constantly gang bang me as a form of repenting for being white.
Powerful. That sounds like a good deal for those... that one model who went online and said, I had sex with 100 men in 24 hours. Good. Go to Afghanistan. Cameron Schwartz, Miriam used to wear a hijab. She was in a lot of videos debating with Douglas Murray on the UK Big Question show. Really good clips you should watch. Really?
That idiot versus Douglas Murray?
Insufferable woman actually had debates with Douglas Murray. That's amazing. Grauenritter said Pierce will let you spout all kinds of hate, but he won't stand condescending interruptions. Weird. Good.
That is funny.
Endearing my data are out. Powerful. Yeah. Well, he also has a show called Piers Morgan Uncensored, but he censors the show, so that's that. Josh Villagomez, Piers Morgan messed up. I think he's getting into the devil's cursive book. That's what he does. If that Barbie is Muslim, where's her head covering? She hid it because she didn't like it anymore. Magnifico Giganticus, the chin that killed the dinosaurs. Do you think the war... Where'd that go? I clicked on the super chat and disappeared, and now I can't get it back. That's funny. I wonder if that Halfwood is the third of the fourth wife. Probably fourth. Jack Ray, can someone connect that annoying woman with Mohammed Hijab, or would that punish him too much?
Punish him? That's funny.
Yeah. With a girl, I bet she gets so aroused if one of the Pakistanis in her congregation smacked her for talking like that. Possibly. Jonathan Samuel became a new member. Welcome to the club. Grau and Richard, also there is a new problem with the deal. Hamas wants to be able to pick the best fighters to be released. Israel obviously says no. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that aspect. I know that was an aspect, which is why Israeli representatives said Hamas is now causing problems because they say that they want to have the ability to choose which prisoners will be freed, and Israel said we are not doing that. Although I'm not sure what happened to that part of the deal. Not sure what happened to that.
By the way, look at the difference between the two. Who does Israel want back? All their citizens to protect them, especially women, children, old people, and so on. They want their people back because they're their people and they want to protect their people. Who does Hamas want back? The best fighters.
Yeah.
They do not care. If you said, hey, if you said, hey, Hamas, we have 1,000 jihadis in prison and 1,000 women and children. Who do you want? We want the jihadis. Screw the women and children. They're cannon fodder anyway. We want them locked up so we can complain. Or if they're back with us, we're just going to make sure they get killed anyway because it helps us. But yeah, we want the jihadis. Very different.
I don't care about the women and children except when we can use them to die. So Netanyahu announced that for the first time now, gave a detailed account and said that State of Israel is committed to finding a solution and achieving all the
State of Israel,
including the return of all our hostages, both living and the dead. And he said he ordered the Security Cabinet to meet on Friday, after which the government will convene to approve the deal. Okay, so Friday, meaning that's already today in Israel, or tomorrow if you are
on the other side of the world like me. That's where they are convening and approving or making a final decision on approving the deal. But they already agreed. So that's that. That's how it works. They already did agree. Both sides already did agree, or multiple sides already did agree. But the Israeli Security Council will have to come together and approve it on their part, and then it will go through. That's what happens. See? Aviva was reliable. She said the truth. Prime Minister Netanyahu has been updated by the negotiating team that agreements have been reached on a deal for the release of the hostages. Let's read this here. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been updated by the negotiating team that agreements have been reached on a deal for the release of the hostages. The Prime Minister has directed that the Security Cabinet be convened later today, Friday. The government will be convened later in order to approve the deal. Prime Minister Netanyahu expressed his appreciation for the negotiating team and all those who assisted. The Prime Minister's Office Authority for the Hostages and Missing has updated the families of the hostages. The Prime Minister has also directed the coordinator for the hostages and the missing to coordinate the preparations to receive the hostages upon their return to Israel. The State of Israel is committed to achieving all of the objectives of the war, including the return of all our hostages, the living and the deceased. There you have it. Official confirmation by the Office of the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu himself. Hope you believe it. No, David.
I don't.
Too much. This should be released by putting pressure on the enemy, forcing it to surrender, not by capitulating and resupplying it in endless war. True. I say that too. And not by risking the lives of your own soldiers to minimize enemy casualties, which is not moral, but immoral and disgraceful, not how a war is won. Now, I don't know how harsh it is, but I actually, what's the rabbi's name? Rabbi Friedman. Is that his name?
No, Shmuley.
I saw that he put out a video earlier saying this is immoral. No.
Everyone agrees in principle. Everyone agrees that you should not negotiate with terrorists. It encourages terrorism. It rewards terrorism. Mm-hmm. You should not negotiate with terrorists.
I like this guy.
Back in the event of Entebbe, where Israel violated any number of international laws, flying into Uganda and freeing the hostages by eliminating the terrorists, the world was so thrilled. The world was so inspired because Israel lived up to the principle. We don't negotiate with terrorists.
That was the coolest thing ever.
So all this talk about negotiation, ceasefire, it's wrong-minded, very wrong-minded. Somebody kidnaps a child and then makes demands, and when you catch him, you give him back something in exchange? This is absurd and immoral. So there should be no negotiation. There should be no conversation. We'll give you this, you'll give us that. They kidnapped children. What do you get for that in return? A life sentence? We got to live by our principles, not just mouth them. So politically, I'm sure there are many advantages to making a ceasefire on both sides. Otherwise, why would anybody be talking about it? But when it becomes a question of political reality, that's in quotes, because the two words don't go together very well. Politics and reality have nothing in common. But political reality and morality, no contest. No contest. You never sacrifice morality for political advantage or for political gain. Even if in the short term, it seems like the better option. Morality is not negotiable. It's always right. It's always better. It's always true. So we got to hope.
Very, very much true. This is Rabbi Manis Friedman. You see, I'm subscribed to his channel. I know people are pointing out that he has a very nice voice. It's one of the first rabbis that I found when I was looking to understand more about Judaism. And I have to say, there were some times when I often go to sleep watching something. And there were nights where I decided that I should just watch something nice. So I turned on videos of his, and the voice immediately made me fall asleep. It's pretty good.
That's cool. Your voice has that impact on people, especially your videos.
That sounded very gay, David, but thank you.
Hey guys, you don't know what he was just talking about? This is when he said, talking about this being inspiring. You had terrorists take a French plane and then take the plane first to Libya, then to Uganda, where Idi Amin, the dictator, provided soldiers from the military to help the terrorists keep all these Israeli hostages at the airport there. And so they're negotiating, they're demanding the release of all these Palestinians and so on. Israel sent a plane filled with commandos to land in the dark outside at the airport. They got this plane loaded with commandos, and they go in there and just massacre all the terrorists. And this guy's saying, that's how you do something. And when you do it like that, the world will actually be impressed. And so that's more along the lines of blowing everyone's balls off with pagers, right? Like even people who were attacking Israel the entire time, you had the people who are complaining, oh, this is terrorism, blowing people's testicles off with pagers. But most people were like, okay, that's pretty badass right there. That is impressive. So he's saying don't negotiate with the terrorists. You go in full force, kill all the terrorists. That's what you do.
Based.
It is totally based.
The other thing is when Israel captured Adolf Eichmann from Argentina, they were not allowed to do that. It was considered illegal to just go into Argentina with your intelligence forces and capture a former Nazi, a high-ranking Nazi, and then take him on a plane back to Israel to then put him on trial and judge him and execute him. Argentina protested, said this is not, we can't have this, we can't allow this. This is not happening. This violates our sovereignty and
Israel
so on.
said, too freaking bad.
Israel said, honestly, we get it and we're sorry, and I'm sure we can reach an agreement, but honestly, we would do it again.
So this is the difference. So that's these are examples of not negotiating over this stuff. It's we have to do this, and this is beyond. This is more important than whatever laws you have against doing this. We have to do this. We are required to do this. And if you say we can't, well then screw your rules. Because think, if you had terrorists right now capturing a plane and then landing in some country in Africa and so on, what would the world be screaming? Oh no, you have to negotiate with them. Oh, they want this in exchange for all these prisoners and so on. You can't fight them. You have to ceasefire, give them what they want and get your people back. Which does what? That just tells them that this is the way to go and that this is a good way of doing things. You go in there and you just kill everybody. You kill all the terrorists and you don't negotiate with them at all, and you get people back like that. That sends a message to other people who might be planning something like that. Oh, these guys aren't going to give us what we want. They're just going to come and kill us. So probably not a good way to go about things. Let's come up with a different plan. And so the idea here is that's what you should be doing in Gaza, letting people know if you carry out a massacre like this, you take a bunch of hostages, we're not negotiating with you. We're not going to have any sort of deal with you. We're just going to come and kill you all until you give us our hostages back and you surrender.
Yeah. And that is where another Netanyahu turned into a hero, into a big hero. Powerful.
That the world will wake up to this, realize it. I mean, most people do, but those in power who have a habit of twisting the truth, playing the game.
Shut up. What is this? What is this, Darren? Old soul sage Rabbi Winger, good for sleep as well. Can you imagine Rabbi Winger? Anyway, so his message is good. I like this guy. I like this rabbi. Much respect to this rabbi. But I have more subscribers than he does, so that's that. Susan Lee, today the Gazans are celebrating Hamas in the streets. 3 weeks ago, they were crying about Hamas and how much they hated them. I said it there. And David was telling me, no, you have to trust them when they say Hamas bad. Grumpy Granny, framed for a crime. I study statement analysis. That's a huge red flag. It is, right? Steph asks, the best two dudes in the U.S., God please bless and protect the U.S. and Israel until we can get to Monday. Bless us here too. Do so.
God please bless and protect the U.S.
I can see that it rhymes. So, thank you, Steph. Very much appreciated. Jonathan Samuel, David and AP, what do you think of Daniel 2:40-45? I have always thought that iron is the Islamic Caliphate. Right now, we are in iron clay. Secularists foolishly support iron thoughts. Well, my first thought is that you are asking a still quite agnostic individual about prophecies in the Bible. But the other thought is, David, what's your thought?
Historically, the interpretation of that is that the iron represents the Roman Empire.
Powerful.
Strong as iron.
Space Autistic says, fun fact, the first 6 months I followed you guys, all my super chats were charged to my dad's credit card. We share a business. I had to pay him $400 while he's like, what the hell is a dough again? That's funny. That's nice. What the hell is it doing again? Oh man, that's good. That's good. That's good. Thank you, Based Autistic, for your contribution. Thank you for your presence. It's awesome. Cam, Israel should take the Kaaba if they break the deal. That's what they should do.
You don't need it. You don't need to take the Kaaba. Just there's a big dome right there. That's much closer. You don't have to go down and mess with Saudi Arabia.
I almost want to say that
there's a big dome right there. Prime real estate. Most important, awesome piece of land on the planet. Just waiting.
You know what's funny? Maybe I'm exaggerating, but at this stage, the way things have been going, I feel like Muslims around the world would be more offended by a destruction of the dome than they would be by the destruction of the Kaaba at this point, because it involves Jews.
It involves Jews, yeah, it would be, and yeah, that's right. And I've told you before, I believe in consequences, like consequences. You can program them through consequences, and I would say something along the lines of every rocket you launch or every Israeli you kill in the future, moving forward and so on, everything you do, we're going and we're taking 100 bricks or blocks or whatever from the Dome of the Rock or from the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and we will not allow it to be replaced. And then I would keep that deal. Every time I'm going and taking 100 blocks from out of that, you're not repairing it, and I'm going to keep doing that. And they would find out real quickly that people do not like that. It's called a deterrent, ladies and gentlemen, a deterrent. If you've got people screaming, we love death, and they're obsessed with martyrdom, killing them isn't the biggest deterrent. You have to do something that involves their religion, where they are actually harming their religion by attacking you.
Panteran, you won't see the flag of Israel in Chabad temple. They are delusional messianic cult. Well, here's the thing. Now, I don't want to stand up here as a defender of Chabad, but Chabad also happened to be the main great defenders in the world right now of kind of Jews and Jewishness and Israel and advocates and so on, and have so much that they advocate for. I think they have had a consistent policy of not having flags inside their centers at all. And despite the fact that the vast majority of them support Israel and love Israel, that even extended to the Israel flag. I'm not sure how you can condemn them for that. If anything, it just looks like consistency, you know. There will have to be demilitarized zone around the Israeli border. True. Ephraim says, thanks for all you guys do. Thank you. Knows too much. If Israel pulls out of Gaza and throws away what has been achieved so far, it's a dishonor to the soldiers who gave their lives fighting the war. That's true. Stefan de Pelt at Hezbollah, Israel, 2006 war ended with ceasefire. Same is happening with Hamas. Both will bounce back. People never learn F-word politics. You can't say destroy Hamas on SC. That's funny. Giovanni Garcia, verily Elon Musk hath declared war upon me, yet I shall guard the identities of the knaves he hath dispatched forsooth to preserve mine own honor. Nice.
It's just amazing how little it takes to impress a Dawa fan.
Powerful. Lothar, I would love for this to lead to peace in the region, but as it should, I know nothing ever happens. That's true. Carlo Cal, and we're proud of that. Makes it 10 times funnier too. It does.
We're proud of that.
These guys do give the best sound bites. Like, say what else you want. I mean, like, as much as you want to make fun of Hamas, as much as you want to make fun of and condemn Hamas, comes to building tunnels, you got to give credit. They're good at like building tunnels like rats. With the Dawa guys, it's whatever else you want to say about them. They are good at making entertaining sound bites. They're really, really good at. They are the best in the world. Give them credit.
We're proud of that.
We've got and we're going to have the new one that Muhammad Hijab ravishes men. Muhammad Hijab, ravisher of men. I've ravished that man. I've ravished him.
Powerful. Giovanni Garcia, Israel has destroyed all of our baby scholar, doctor, journalists. Yeah, shame. If Al-Aqsa says where Muhammad took his night journey to Dihya, then Al-Aqsa flood is what Dihya did to Momo, leaving stains on his clothes.
It does explain. It does explain some odd features of the Muslim sources, ladies and gentlemen. I still haven't put them together. I put all the passages about Dihya al-Kalbi, Sunni and Shia sources, and then all the passages about Muhammad constantly being covered in semen. You got a pretty airtight case. Well, I could even call it the real Al-Aqsa flood. When Muhammad took his night journey with Dihya al-Kalbi, comes back home. Where were you, honey? Why are you covered in semen? Oh yeah. The powerful flying donkey monster took me to Jerusalem, and then I went up to, okay. What a clown.
Man.
Hey, Muhammad came back. And he goes, now listen, wives. Listen, everyone, just so you know, I've been threatened. Some of my enemies have said that if I do not submit to paganism and polytheism, then they will frame me for a crime of being molested by Dihya al-Kalbi and getting his semen all over my clothes. But just know, they're threatening to frame me. I will not disclose who the source is and who this person is because I wish to protect people who threaten me. This makes perfect sense. And they all went, oh, wow, what a great man you are.
That's powerful. When not realistic, Israel falls, all religion doomed. True. Megger John, the guy reacting to hijab looks a lot like AP. He
did look like you.
That might be just you. I don't really see it. John Empire Power #1: invest work entrepreneurship for Gaza instead of aid, or just leave it to Israel and kick out many of them. Michigan Tricker, nice wall on the border with Egypt, but didn't they discover a bunch of tunnels underneath it when Israel took control of the Philadelphia corridor? They did indeed. And Israel has been, I guess, behind the scenes talking to Egypt about what the heck is going on here? But Egypt is also part of the negotiation process right now, so I'm pretty sure that Israel is behind the scenes talking things through with Egypt. And the thing is, Israel has better contact with Egypt than Egypt does with Hamas. And when Egypt and Israel, both sharing common interests when it comes to Hamas, negotiate together, I would say this is a good thing. This is a positive thing. Can't believe we have to raise awareness for this. This is true. Chloe, what's up, Chloe? What's up, Chloe? What's up, Chloe? Can Dr. David please give me some verses on why I should be careful and defend myself from terrorists and not just let myself be martyred like our Lord and the apostles and leave this hellhole earth? Sounds pretty rough, Chloe.
Chloe, well, you have Jesus and apostles and so on being killed. You also have times when it would say, and the people wanted to do something to Jesus, so he got out of there. And he would say his time has not yet come. So before you're martyring yourself, you should at least want to know if that is the time when it's meant to be. If it's not, then you should be in the mode of not letting people get away with it.
That's true.
And so that's Jesus. There were times when Jesus would get out of an area. And he told his apostles that. He told his apostles to get out of certain areas when it was relevant. And then you have the Apostle Paul, who said that there's a part of him who wants to die so he can go be with Jesus, and there's another part that says I've got work to do here, and so he wanted to continue doing his work and so on. So, you have the idea that there is a time when, as a Christian, you would accept martyrdom, but the general rule is don't get killed if you can avoid it.
Powerful. Deborah Friedman, but Chloe, hey, yeah, keep it up, be good, get in touch, and all that. All of that. Being killed is based, obviously, but not worth it. Jack Ray, but Deborah Friedman said this is not true. I sent my child to Chabad house, no Chabad school, and there was an Israel flag there. I think they have a policy of keeping events and their centers apolitical, meaning no flags at all. Not sure how that applies to other places. Jack Ray, that 99 names is fractured but whole.
Like Allah.
Yes. The next Sarkanak, while we're banning people, I think we should address the Wingerlings in the chat as well. Yeah, I think that's a separate issue. I think once we're done with all the gropers, we need to address the Wingerlings as well.
Yeah, first the gropers, then the Wingerlings.
Yeah. With Nail and a great film. Great film. Richard E. Grant, Paul McGann, Richard Griffith must see. See, there you go, David. Paul alone gotta look up Corey Gill Schuster. Already did it. Please send more job letters so he converts to Jehovah. I forgot about that. So Lars says you can pry my heart, but you can molest my intellect.
You can't pry my heart, but you can molest my intellect.
You sick in the mind? Are you that mentally enslaved and intellectually subservient and intellectually molested and ideologically molested?
Powerful. Yosef Kanon, Bachabaz refers to a pederasty practice in Afghanistan in which men exploit and enslave young boys for entertainment and or sexual abuse. You heard? Really? I had no idea.
And it's especially creepy because I've heard from people from that culture. They don't regard it, if you're a man, they don't regard it as being gay to molest or rape a young boy until he gets facial hair. Then if you bang him, then you're gay. So you got to get them while they're young before they have facial hair.
That's why they say bring him young. Yeah.
Homosexuality should be fine.
John, they can go ahead and release their best fighters. Biscuit says P. Morgan deliberately speaks out of both sides of his mouth. He doesn't care about right and wrong, only about getting the most views from both sides. This is true. Carson Depth, Israel should have capital penalties to prevent this kind of barter. They should. John, remember if your dog barks at Muhammad possessing him. This is true. This is very, very true. Patriotic Z, paying my jizya for a new AP computer. Salami and bacon. I mean, salam al-Masih. Thank you. I appreciate it. This will buy me a new computer. Thank you, Patriotic Z. I appreciate it. Crusader General, hijab as a leader as the capo di tutti capi of the Guruma gangs. His arrest is pending, hence the signal. Well, that's what you say. I'm not sure if I believe you. I mean, it seems to have come to my attention as well that Mohammed Hijab may be involved in some kind of grooming gang activities and may have been involved in some, child marriage, molestation, rape, things like that. But I don't really know. But it just seems suspicious because his name is Muhammad, and Muhammad the Prophet, who he's named after, married a 6-year-old child and had sex with her when she was 9. So I'm just asking questions. Daimos said the past 2 weeks made me regret re-electing Trump. From letting Hamas win the terror war to the H-1B visa scandal, he's turning into a neocon fast. Yeah, I'm not sure what the heck is happening with the Trump administration. It's kind of seemingly a little bit disappointing on certain parts, but maybe it will be better once he's elected, which is what always everyone says, which never really happens. I don't know. Let's see. Let's hope for the best. I mean, we had 2 choices. We had 2 choices: Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. Just think about it that way. I'm glad I didn't vote for Kamala Harris. John the Press Buyer, me and Mojab have a lot in common. I also have never been threatened by Elon Musk. Some falafel sandwich Pinaz was given the covenant of peace for being zealous. Maybe Israel could be like that someday. Numbers 25, 1-13. David, what do you say?
That's when the Israelites started worshiping the Moabite gods or something like that, and in exchange for sexual favors and so on. And Phineas went in there with a spear and killed the guilty parties. He's grandson of Aaron. So you had Aaron, one of his sons is Eleazar, and then Eleazar had a son, Phineas.
That is a funny thing that was around in ancient prehistoric times. It was part of religious practice where
different
ancient religions had the practice of having what's it called? Ritual, something like ritual prostitution. It's like they would have, like, women would offer themselves.
That's totally normal. Like
as a ritual practice to have sex with
ancient
them,
world temple prostitution.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, and it's not considered immoral. You just go like as a man who goes to the temple, you just go and have sex with a temple prostitute, and it's actually considered a holy practice. It is kind of a funny thing, though. Like, why did they have to stop that? Kikavu is technically in the morning. David is a morning. Shut up. Shut up. And in the afternoon, he's an afternoon.
People have suggested I should have a morning show called Morning Wood.
So stupid.
Which is this early morning show. It'd be funny if we have like mixed nuts with us, and we call it Morning Wood and D's Nuts. We couldn't help it. Oh boy.
This is true. Do they say she's doing God's work? This is a good question. I wonder if that's what they used to say. Yeah. That's what they used to say, probably. Hey, did you see this clip, David? This concerns us.
Oh, no, that's a different one. That's a different one.
Show with Pete a number of...
Michael, where do you sit with this?
Well, so much of what Wajahat just said is not true, or as you point out, Pierce, is completely unsubstantiated, like the allegations that Pete Hegseth shows up trying to work. Excuse me one second, Wajahat. I've been on that morning show with Pete a number of times. I've been in studio with him a number of times. The only thing you could accuse Pete of is being too alert and energetic. I found it overwhelming, actually, while I was there, tired, trying to dust the sand out of my eyes. But you suggest that the graduate of Princeton and Harvard, who for decades has been in the U.S. military, served his country honorably, that he's somehow unqualified to work at the Pentagon. The most egregious accusation you make against him, though, is that he's an extremist because he has a tattoo. Could you tell us what the tattoo is?
The tattoos specifically, I don't
Look
know.
at Dave Rubin.
The allegation that he's an extremist. It was actually
You
his,
repeated the
fellow
allegation.
colleague
So what's
who
the
called him
tattoo?
as an insider threat.
Yeah, right. So what's the tattoo?
Not me.
I can tell you. It says
It was his fellow
No, hang on,
colleague.
let Wajahat answer, because Wajahat raised the tattoo.
Right? Go ahead.
Wajahat, it's a fair
It was Deo's
question.
fault,
What
and
is
it
this
was his
tattoo that
colleague.
you're
I
so
mentioned the
upset about?
facts. It was his
Wajahat, hang on.
Wait. Two things.
Wajahat, hang on. Simple question. What is this tattoo that you're so upset about?
I wasn't the one upset about it. I was talking about his fellow colleague. This is exactly what I said. His fellow colleague.
Do you know what it was?
In the U.S. Army, called him out as a potential insider threat.
What is the
looking at
tattoo?
The tattoos on his chest.
What is the
and
tattoo?
Also, I called him an extremist based upon his own book. Read the book.
What
American
is the
Crusade,
tattoo?
his own words.
If you don't know what the tattoo is, just admit it.
Oh my Lord! Listen,
Would you
what
like
is
to
it?
tell you what the tattoo is?
I want to, wait.
No, I'm genuinely intrigued. Do you know what it is or not,
We got a
Wajahat?
panelist.
Wajahat, do you know what it is or not?
She hasn't spoken yet. A woman hasn't spoken yet.
She's
which is
going to
fine on
come.
this panel,
She's going to
but not,
answer the
in
question
America.
you're
Go
not
ahead.
answering. Final question to you,
I did
Wajahat.
answer it, but
Final
go ahead.
chance.
I got my colleague right here.
Be honest.
To my
Be honest,
right. Go for
Wajahat.
it.
Do you actually know what that tattoo is or not?
Listen, what I do know is I read his book, and in his book, if
Do
you read
you
it,
know
called
or
American
not?
Crusade, in his
Wajahat.
book, wait a second.
Be honest.
His book.
Be honest.
I am. Look,
Ironically,
you guys are putting lipstick on a pig.
no one's.
Well, you know what they're talking about, David?
Deus Vult. Yeah.
Well, they're talking about that and another tattoo. Actually,
what's the other one?
The other one is the Jerusalem cross tattoo.
Oh yeah. He does have the Jerusalem cross. That's funny. And by the way, that's why Michael Knowles is asking. He wanted him to say, because the other cross tattoo, the Jerusalem cross. And that means that you're some insane extremist who, yeah.
And it gets even funnier because I think this woman is like, she goes on to claim that in another clip, this woman goes on to claim that that Deus Vult was a slogan that came into practice when the Christians went to the Middle East to try and slaughter and conquer the Muslims in their land. And Michael Knowles is like, what are you talking about? The land was Christian before it was Muslim. And she says, no, it became Christian after the First Crusade. And Michael is like, what?
Are you an idiot? For those who don't know, ladies and gentlemen, when Islam came, they took about 80% of what were then Christian lands. So he's pointing out, no, you eventually had Christians who, one, the real goal was these guys kept messing with Europe. That was one of the real goals. But they kept hearing what was happening to Christian pilgrims going to holy sites now that those holy sites were under Islamic control. And you go down there and they just take you and take the women as slaves and stuff like that. And people are saying, we need to control these areas. And you got the Crusades.
Holy site. Anyway, technically in the morning, a puppy named Oz. The problem with 72 virgins, 72 mother-in-laws. This is true. This is a problem. But technically, the mother-in-laws would be Allah alone. So that's Allah is actually the collective mother-in-law. Kiko was David. In Islamic countries, it won't be gay if you are the doer, because man's got to eat and the means justify the end. This is true. Yep. Daniel R., who authorized you to speak on behalf of the hostage deal? You need to control your tongue, buds.
I can't tell if people are joking or serious at this point.
Probably
because if you're like a groper or a jihadi or an extreme leftist or something like that, you're going to say that. But it's also what you would say if you're just making fun of them for being idiots. And so it's like, if you're serious, you'll say it. And if you're not, I will assume this is a joke because he sent you a super chat.
I assume so too. All right, David, anything else? What are we doing tomorrow?
I'm thinking about going through this new Jordan Peterson clip that was interesting.
Jordan Peterson?
He called Jesus God, but as usual, when he fleshes out what that means, it gets really it gets a bit odd. So I was thinking,
what's so shocking about calling Jesus God? I heard lots of people call Jesus God.
That's true.
What's
but
the problem?
It's Jordan Peterson. It's Jordan. Could you imagine if he said Muhammad is a prophet? Like the Muslims like wetting themselves over something like
Oh, yeah, look what he said. Look what he said. I always knew he's the smartest man ever. Whoa.
Yeah, so there are multiple interesting things we could talk about tomorrow. I might go with that unless something takes precedent over it before tomorrow. But that just came out, and wanted to take a look at that.
Inshallah.
Powerful.
All right. Actually, wait a minute. Here, one final thing, and then let's go.
That you talked about, yes, Deus Vult, which is the cross that he has, and the slogan that he has.
Deus Vult is
an old
the
Christian
Jerusalem
cross. The phrase, however, was uttered by crusaders as they were slaughtering Jews and Muslims during the Second Crusade specifically.
He's funny. He's almost always completely deadpan whenever he's saying anything.
Jews and Muslims during the Second Crusade specifically. So it's not just a random cross. It's not just a random phrase.
That isn't true. The phrase that
it's not true.
It is true.
The phrase was uttered after the Council of Clermont when Pope Urban II declared the crusade. And it was actually probably Dieu le veut, but it's been rendered in Latin as Deus Vult. It has nothing to do with slaughtering Jews. It has nothing to do with slaughtering Muslims because the Muslims had invaded Europe, not the other way around.
Oh my God, are you really saying that the reason the crusade, which was sent to the Holy Land to liberate the Holy Land, from whom? From Jews and Muslims.
The crusade began because the Eastern... I'll tell you why the crusade began. The crusade began because the Eastern...
I find it kind of funny that she throws in Jews here.
And yeah, I mean, because Jews, you guys want to attack the Jews, and we must protect the Jews.
Like you care about Jews.
Seriously. It's just funny. It's like she absorbed the standard narrative about the Crusades that people used to get back when I was in college, but then it started coming out what the Crusades were actually about, and so on. And opinion among Christians started turning, because the story you get is Muslims were just peaceful and minding their business and worshiping God and so on. A bunch of Europeans said, we must go and we must kill and slaughter all these Muslims, and not, hey, Muslims are attacking in the East, Muslims are attacking in the West, Muslims are attacking all of Southern Europe. And so they thought, hey, it's a good idea, which is a generally sound military tactic, to say, why don't we take the fight somewhere else so that it's not here on our land? So this coincided with Christians begging for protection in those areas. So they said, let's go down there and fight. I don't know why Muslims would still be whining about this. Muslims eventually won. You eventually won the Crusades. So why you're claiming that this has something to do with you being victims? By the way, historically, Muslims always understood it like according to reality. Like, hey, we were attacking them, they responded by attacking us, and we ultimately drove them out. I understood that until it became a modern popular thing where Westerners beat themselves up over everything they've ever done. It was those peaceful Muslims just minding their own business. Christians came and attacked them for no reason, and so on, just because they hated them because of their religion. And the Muslims like, oh yeah, let's go with that story. Because we love claiming to be victims now.
We love that. We love that, man. We love that.
Emperor asked for help from the Western Pope because the Seljuk Turks were slaughtering Christians in the Holy Land, because those lands were Christian before the Muslims invaded in the 7th century. So that's why.
No.
Yeah,
those
good
crusades.
to know Michael's
Listen, those lands became Christian after the First Crusade. Okay, so let's be very clear.
The lands were Christian in the second centuries.
I have to say though, I mean, I actually know, but I would suspect that Michael Knowles, because he's actually dropping names and places and so on, and the groups involved, that he's coming across as more knowledgeable here than Miss Pink Pantsuit here.
Powerful stuff. And just to put one thing here, just to reiterate one thing, the main reason the Crusades were launched was that that help was needed, and the eastern part of Christianity asked for help against the invading aggressive Muslim forces. It didn't happen to take over the lands back from the Jews and Muslims. Sure, there were lots of bad things that happened during the Crusades, including attacks on other Christians, attacks on Jews, and so on. But none of those were part of the actual motive of launching the Crusades.
And Islam didn't exist before the 7th century. What are you talking about?
Okay, I could go, listen. I can go all day if you want to talk about it.
I can go on making things up. You don't know anything, lady. What have you? What do you know? You don't even know that Muslims took over Christian lands. You don't know. You think that didn't happen until after the Crusades? You sound like an idiot. You want to go all day on a topic you know nothing about, and you sound like an idiot on?
This is the funny thing. Like, why does Pierce repeatedly and consistently have like people like this on to talk about topics that they know nothing about? And then he's like, "Oh, this guest was terrible. And by the way, I got so many million views." It's kind of weird, man. Anyway, final super chat. Revelatio says, Revelatio 2213 says, Elon should take the land and build Elon Musk. He should do that. All right, David.
Musk.
Elon Musk. All right.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk buy the land and build the Elon.
You know what's funny? Elon could tweet something like that to troll people and go, "Hey, should I invade and build Elon Musk?" And people go, yes, do it. And the Muslims will be going, "No, he's calling for genocide. And he could totally be joking. They fall for it.
Literally genocide.
Verily, Elon is the best of trolls.
Verily.
I'm thinking whether I should publish my first apostate music song about Gaza. Anyway, I'll probably do that. A song named I Love Gaza. It's a powerful song. Anyway, we will live again tomorrow on David Wood's channel. And until then, good boy. Until then, as always, have a fantastic day and listen to the goat. Which translates to, for those who don't speak goat,
stay away from Islam.
Powerful.
You